Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello, everyone.
What up, everybody?
2023.
Perfect timing.
And we're ready to call the meeting to order.
Perfect
I'm Paul
timing.
Krikorian, President of the Council.
Good morning,
Public
everybody.
Comment will
What's up,
be
50
taken
Grubs,
today,
Nathan,
both
Alex,
in
Shell,
person in the council chamber
Ashley,
and
Trish,
via
Kenneth,
teleconference.
Andrew, Chris,
and we are
Eric, Mark,
ready to begin. So,
Al,
Madam Clerk,
Livin,
if you could please call the roll.
Vince, Nancy,
Blumenfield, De Leon,
Peach
Harris,
Mom,
Dawson, Hernandez, Hunt,
Sagittarius, Ruska,
Krikorian, Lee, McCosker,
Charm,
Padilla,
Yep,
Hart,
Heath.
Price, Brahman, Rodriguez, Soto
Sup, Red Cloud?
Martinez, Yaroslavsky, 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of August
To see
16,
Martini?
2023.
Councilmember Hernandez moves. Councilmember Blumenfield
what's
seconds.
martini?
Commendatory resolutions for
What's
approval.
spooky?
Next. Councilmember Yaroslavsky moves. Councilmember
Hey, Matt.
Padilla seconds. Next, if we could please
Morning,
run through
everybody.
the agenda.
Yes, sir. There is a request to hold item 1 on the desk, and items 1 through 12 are
Hi,
items
Calamity
which
Girl.
public
Good
hearings
morning.
have been
Happy
held.
Friday.
For item number
Okay.
11, the Budget and Finance and Innovation Committee report,
Hi,
as
Rob.
well as the
Hi,
Joint
Ricky.
Housing and Homelessness and Government Operations Committee report
Bill Gore.
have been submitted and are
Hi,
online
Cushmans.
under
BJ.
Council File
Bionic. Yessie, it's good to see you.
23-0792. Note that for item 12,
Hopefully you're feeling
the
better.
Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee report has been submitted and is online.
Cat was
under
just here,
Council
Anna.
File
I was telling him to stay, and then he walked off, so I don't know. He's around
0824.
here somewhere.
Items 13
Not in the
through
room,
15 are items
out there
which
somewhere.
public hearings have been held. For item 13, the North
He's good,
Ridge
Beeps.
East,
He ate. I ate. We just
Encino,
had
and
breakfast.
the
We're
Greater
good.
Toluca Lake Neighborhood
Well, his
Councils
second breakfast.
submitted
My
community
first.
impact statements in support. 10 votes are required for consideration, sir.
By 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, he's already eaten twice by 10. Because he wakes me up at 5:30 in the morning to fucking feed him. Then I just go back to bed at 5:30. I know what you're saying. Why don't you just wake up later? It's kind of hard to sleep when someone's licking your nose. And then you just wake up and you open your eyes and his nose is attached to your nose and you're like, okay, what's going on here?
Councilmember Hernandez.
Council President, I would like to call item 11 special for comments, please. Thank you.
No mask today? Why not? You know you're going to die, right? If you don't wear your mask, right?
Members?
You're
Councilmember
going to
Padilla.
die if you don't wear your mask. So why did
I
you
would like
decide
to
to not
item
wear your
6
mask today,
special,
but you
please.
wore it yesterday?
Okay.
I don't get it. Or Wednesday, sorry. You wore it Wednesday, but
And
And I'd
not
like to
today.
introduce a friendly
Maybe it's only a
amendment.
Wednesday thing?
Okay. Very good.
Thank you, Jim Eaton, for the dodo. Appreciate
Do you
you.
want to go ahead and state the amendment now?
Yes, I would like to instruct the Department of Recreation
It's going
and
great,
Parks
JD. I had
that
another one this
citywide
morning.
Skate Park Advisory Group shall be comprised of a minimum of 1 member from each council district, and selection of members shall be in consultation with the council offices.
Is there a second to this motion?
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other specials, members?
You're going to die a little? Okay. We're all going to die a little someday.
All right,
Oh, man,
then,
hurricane,
Madam Clerk,
hurricane.
with
Oh,
that,
there's a
now
hurricane
before us
coming.
to be closed.
It's a 3. It's a 4 now.
Council may now vote
I'll
on
go live
items
during the
2 through
hurricane. We'll see how
5,
deadly it is.
as well as 7 through 10 and
Lucky to see some rain.
12, sir.
Get out of here, dude. God, man,
right,
fear mongering.
members, those items are
A
now
lot of
before
people eat
us.
that fear mongering up. Their phone lights up
I
every
see
2
no members
minutes.
wishing to be
Let me
heard,
ask
so
you guys
let's go
something.
ahead.
And this goes out to the people that are like East Coasters, okay? Because I know you guys deal with real hurricanes, not like, what we have here, which is a tropical storm. So, I ask you this. When the real hurricanes do hit, do they just absolutely inundate your phone with updates every fucking 20 minutes? I just want to know. Because they've been doing that here for this unprecedented tropical storm. So I just want to know. Do they do that? They do? Okay.
Councilmember
Just want to make
Hernandez,
sure it's
did
not
you
like
have an
just
announcement you'd
California
like to make?
fear mongering. I guess
Go
it's
right
the
ahead.
world fear mongering.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues,
Okay.
I'd like to give a warm welcome to some special guests we have joining us today. Los Angeles is home to the second largest community of Sri Lankans in the United States.
Call
LA
you
City
Slurricane up,
Council
Terry.
first declared Sri Lanka Day on August 17,
Slurricane.
2020. Known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean,
don't
Sri
remember the
Lanka
rest.
is an island nation with a vibrant culture, rich in tradition.
I remember the song.
Today, they are having a Sri Lanka Day celebration to honor their food, culture, and history. The Sri Lanka Foundation, whose offices are in CD1, invite you to celebrate this day with Sri Lankan food at 11 a.m. and a dance performance at 11:30.
I'm sure you'll
both
be
taking
okay,
place in the
Allison.
forecourt.
You'll enjoy the weather
Please join
and
them in
little
the
bit of rain
celebration.
and
Thank you
in the
so
middle
much
of
for joining
summer.
us today.
I'm
Thank
sure
you,
you'll
Council
be.
President.
Thank you very much.
Film
And
it if you
next,
can.
Councilmember De
Please,
Leon,
can you
have
put
an
up some
announcement?
like
Thank you
take
very much.
a couple clips and send them to me? Like, I
Mr.
want to see how
President,
bad it is down at
colleagues,
your house.
I have the pleasure of introducing.
Send them on
a few
Instagram or
folks.
something, maybe.
For those who go to Bowl Heights and frequent a bar known as Chelas, which is not far from Plaza Mariachi,
drunk, baby.
which is on First Street. It is an amazing bar. In fact, there's a handful of staffers as well, to my understanding, frequent this one particular bar. And let me say that
I'm getting
Chelas
red
was
screen.
founded
Fuck.
by Corisa Hernandez
hopefully you
Paredes,
guys are seeing it
as well
okay.
as Gabe Paredes, both from Northeast LA, and Dominic
God
Saldana.
damn it.
And has been a staple in the community of Boyle Heights
I
since
love you,
September 14th,
Spectrum.
2018. For many in the neighborhood, it has become a home away from
Just
home.
stay with it, guys.
And
Stay
a
with
place
it.
to laugh, to
Just Spectrum
dance, and to
doing
build
their
lasting
bullshit.
relationships. Chelas has also been a haven of safety and inclusivity for every individual who has walked through that door. This impact has been possible because of Chelas' dedicated and exceptional team, led again by Corisa Hernandez from Highland Park and Gabe Paredes, Ball Heights, or I should say, reverse it, one from Ball Heights, the other from Highland Park. Chelas will forever live in Ball Heights, collective memory, as a testament to the beautiful and resilience of the neighborhood. I just want to say to Corisa,
Yeah, it'll go
to
back and forth
Gabe,
sometimes,
to Tony,
Shecky.
and to Dominic.
It's unfortunate,
Thank you very
but
much from the bottom of our
nothing
hearts.
I
We'll
can
be
do.
giving you a proclamation.
Even if I
a
reset it,
resolution.
it does nothing.
You guys are incredible. They do own Nativos on York in Highland Park, which is still open
So
right
this is
now.
the bar
But
owners?
let's just give it up, colleagues, for our very own Chelas. Corisa. That's right.
Are we celebrating a bar owner? Is that what we're doing right now?
Lastly, Mr. President, I have the honor
Oh, what we're doing?
to also recognize
One
a
moment,
delegation.
one moment, Mr. De Leon, please. To the members of our audience here, there will be no disruptions of the meeting. The two people standing in the back of the room, you will not shout out when a council member is speaking. You will not shout out and disturb this meeting under any circumstances, no matter how important the thing is that you think you want to shout out.
I
you
guess
think
Eric
is.
Anderson, right?
And you will be excluded from this meeting if you continue to disrupt.
already mad.
That's the Mr. Graebner.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
going to warn you again. Be quiet throughout this meeting unless you're standing at that podium speaking
no.
into the microphone. There will be no
no.
disruptions of this meeting. That's the only warning
no.
I'm giving any of you.
No,
Mr. De Leon.
not going anywhere.
Thank you very much,
no.
Mr. President. Again, colleagues, it's with great pleasure that let me start once again. It's with great pleasure that I introduce a delegation from, not from Peru, but
They
from...
got him thrown
I'm
off.
sorry, Mr. De Leon. Sergeant, is that Mr. Graebner speaking out after I just warned him? Mr. Graebner, you're ordered removed from the meeting pursuant to Rule 12. You'll be subject to Rule 7. For everyone else who's here,
No
there
under
will
over.
be no disruptions of this meeting.
No under
Period.
over today.
Full stop. Mr. De Leon.
Thank you
No
very much,
under over
again,
today.
Mr. President Corin.
Thanks to the
It is
racist.
an honor to introduce a delegation of Peruvian Americans.
Damn it.
When we're under recess, we didn't have an opportunity to celebrate the 202 years of independence of this great country, the country of Peru, which celebrated their independence on July.
Guys, we're having a little spectrum issue, just so you see. Every once in a while, it may go gray. Just please, you should hear the audio the whole time. It'll never go away. The visual will be a little fucked up for a few seconds, and it comes back. So please stay with us.
Luis Chavez. We also have the
No under
president
over, Black
of
Box.
the
He just
Peru
got thrown
Village,
out of the meeting.
Carmen
So he won't be
Stewart,
speaking
with
today
us
unless he
today.
calls in.
And we also have one of the main organizers, Abel Sanchez, who brought us together. This is a nation that has been on this planet for 200
that was Donald Harlan back there, but it's not.
Independence. And Peruvian Americans have contributed greatly to our economy and is one of the best gastronomies in the entire world. In fact,
Gastrointestinal?
it's my understanding they have the
Gastric-intestinal?
#1 rated restaurant in the world, which is located in Peru. It's the best ceviche anywhere in this world. It's el peruano ceviche, sin lugar a dudas, in my opinion. I'll get some criticism from some folks with that, but I've tried it plenty of times, and it is the #1 ceviche. And I had an opportunity to go to Peru, leading California delegation.
Sure you did,
at a
on
conference
our
of parties in
dime.
the United Nations where we dealt
We
with
sent
the
you to
issue of
Peru,
climate
huh?
change. I want to celebrate the Peruvian people. Council members, let's give a warm applause to our delegation here representing Peruvian Americans and the 202nd
Sunday rain, yeah.
independent,
Sunday, Monday,
anniversary of
Tuesday.
the Peruvian country. Thank you very much.
Somewhere around there.
Thank you.
Y que viva Peru!
Councilmember Rodriguez.
What are you talking about? Peruvian food's great,
Thank
man.
you, Mr. President. Thank
Mario's
you, Mr.
on
De Leon,
Melrose.
and I wanna
Mario's
also
on
welcome
Melrose
and
and
congratulate
Vine.
the Peruvian delegation for
Awesome.
being here
I'm
to
telling you, a
celebrate,
fantastic Peruvian restaurant.
As an avid enthusiast of all the multicultural
Peruvian
cuisine
food
of
is
Latino
fantastic. It
communities,
really is.
what I think is very special, I think
no
about one of the most treasured Peruvian gifts is Gaston Acurrio, a celebrated chef who has brought indigenous cuisine and brought it to the forefront of
I'm telling you,
what
Shecky,
is
it's
most
really good. No
celebrated
joke.
about Peru.
Sometimes it
Now,
can
I
be a
can't
little
say that I've
busy,
had guinea pig,
but it's worth the
but
wait.
I've had a lot of other
worth it.
wonderful, experiences with Peruvian cuisine. And
Saltados,
I just
yeah.
want to say thank you so much for being here, for your contributions to what makes Los
Lomo
Angeles
saltado. Yeah, that
a
shit's great,
unique
Ricky.
Latino capital of the world.
Rice, meat,
and celebrating all
vegetables.
of the rich cultural heritage that you all bring. Congratulations. Happy Peruvian Day.
It's Peruvian Day. Okay.
Yes, Mr. De Leon.
Does anybody recognize, like, next year,
For those
people are
who
going to be like, oh, it's Peruvian
pisco sours,
Day today.
there's some pisco sours in the back right now.
Just wondering.
Thank you. We're delighted to
My
welcome you
turn?
to our council
Enjoy it.
chambers.
This place we have here,
Next,
or
we
near
will
my
go
old
to our
house, is
presentations,
just
and
always
I'd like
packed.
to call
Every
on
day.
Councilmember Hutt and Councilmember Harris Dawson
It's just that
for
good.
a special presentation today.
What's up, Maddie? I agree, Matt. It is. I mean, food is really food. It's just how it's spiced differently and prepared a little differently. But, everybody makes rice. Everybody makes meat. Everybody makes, like, vegetables from every country, every place, every continent. But I can tell you Peruvian food really is good stuff. Really good. Well, that's not true. I do R50 or I5 R5 63. Sorry, couldn't even get that up. What's going on here? Come on, y'all can get in there. Let's get it going. Hurdle them up. Get them and herd them up. Let's go. Get the herd going.
All right.
There we go. All right, everybody can get there today.
Good
Let's
morning,
go.
Council President and colleagues and guests. If you didn't know, August is Black Business Month, a time where we get to recognize the indelible impact of Black businesses and the contributions they bring to the city of Los Angeles.
Let me load up my first
As
bowl
we
here, guys.
celebrate this month, I'm excited to be here with
Kat.
you today
Morning.
as we honor and celebrate an organization that's been an integral part of our community, the Black Business Association. It was founded in 1970, commonly known as the BBA, and it's the oldest active ethnic business organization in the state of California. The organization is committed to advocating and promoting the development of African American owned businesses with the goal of creating a firm economic base that supports the self-determination and survival of the African American and urban community. By providing unwavering support to Black-owned businesses, offering opportunities for Black-owned businesses to network and connect, and helping them overcome challenges and thrive in a competitive market, the BBA empowers our community.
Can't
As we
have white
celebrate
businesses.
the
It's
Black
racist
Business
to
Association,
have a white business.
I'd like to let everyone know
Devilish.
about a free public
there's Mr.
event
Herman in his-
happening this
in
weekend.
the fucking Batman
and if
shirt.
you look up on the monitors, you'll see it.
There's
Tomorrow
Fist Man.
on August
He's got his
19th, in
fist back there.
partnership with the BBA, we will be having the first annual Black Business Day Empowerment Fair outside
How
of
come
Harold
BLM's
Mills
not on the
Restaurant
flyer?
right on Jefferson and 10th Avenue. The event is free to attend and will be an empowering experience for everyone. There'll be
It's funny.
food and an opportunity to
I
network
don't see a
with
BLM anywhere
businesses
on
in our
that
community.
flyer.
So let's celebrate Black Business Day And now I would like to bring up my colleague and big brother, little brother on the council, Councilman Marquise Harris Dawson.
No, I'm watching both. I'm watching Thailand too. Watching the crazy ladies in Thailand.
Wait, I'm reading too much, not enough. I forgot to bring up Sarah Harris, the president of the BPA, to say a few words. Sarah?
Brock, that's racist.
Sorry about that.
White people can't be prideful. They can't use the word white in anything they do.
It is such an honor. We are so happy and grateful. This is 36 years in the making. Our illustrious, longest-serving president, Mr. Earl Skip Cooper, first had the foresight to have Black Business Day proclaimed in the city of Los Angeles, and Mayor Tom Bradley then proclaimed it at that time.
Oh, Maddie, of course, there's some here
also
too.
I'm kind of giddy because today's my birthday, and
Happy birthday.
thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the amazing thing is that 36 years ago today, the BBA partnered with the Black Enterprise
You should be,
magazine.
Carolina.
And at the time, they were celebrating the top 100. And also, too, it was proclaimed on August 18th, so 36 years to the day of
Hey, Damon,
Black
can you give
Enterprise
me
Day,
quick
as well as
donation
Black,
info? We
Business
want to
Day.
pay ya.
And so this is something
Bob,
that was
give me
dug
1
up,
second
and
here, Bob.
it's just
Hold on a
something that is so apropos that it is happening today. And so we're just honored here.
All right,
and we
right
do
there, the
hope
stream
and we
link,
see many
the
of
link
you
that I
will
just put in
come
the
out
chat.
with us today. The
I'll
BBA
link it to the top. You can use that one right there,
and
Bob.
we love for
I
you
appreciate
to
you, Bob.
stay in touch at bbala.org. Thank you so much to
hard to
Councilwoman
read,
Hutt
it's because
and
chat's
everybody
moving
here who
quickly on
helped
my
to bring
side.
this together. We're so honored that you helped to
Let me link
push
it to
this
the
through.
top.
Thank you so much.
Pin to the top.
Thank you,
There we go.
Sarah, and happy
All right, it's
birthday.
pinned to the
That's why I
top now.
flew up, so we could
Thanks, Bob.
we could be like, it's Sarah's birthday.
Am I prepped? Oh,
So
somewhat.
to the BBA, I want to give you this.
You know, somewhat. I have a
recognition.
pretty good stash of food. I have earthquake supplies. I have a bug out backpack with
For all the
2
years
weeks
that
of the
you
supplies
have really
in the backpack
supported
with
the
a
Black community,
flashlight,
Black
survival
businesses,
kit. I have
and the contribution to life.
solar charger.
Signed by
Just some
everybody,
stuff.
including the mayor.
Have 20 gallons
Now I wanna
of
pass
clean
it
drinking
to
water at all
my-
times for me and Stinks. What I need to do is get more Stinks food. Like he needs food in case something happens. But I don't know how long. I got to see
Thank you
how
so
long
much.
I can
and,
hold the food.
Another round of applause for Council.
My food, I know how long I can hold it for. His, I got to figure it out. I got to look at the expiration date and see how long that stuff lasts,
8th Day. We're proud to also celebrate African American Business Day. The businesses that we have with us.
Got my
today
firearm.
from
I
the
got everything
8th
I
Council
need.
District and around
Plenty of
South
ammo.
LA are very
Ready.
special to me, and a lot of you will remember them. They are restaurants in South LA that during the pandemic stepped up and worked with the city to deliver meals
I have
to
nothing
seniors.
freeze-dried.
They were able to make sure someone was
Caterers
looking
things.
in.
I have a big-ass
on
carrier,
folks
Chris.
During that
That's
very,
really
very
big. It's for a
difficult time of
dog,
the
and
pandemic.
I bought it
They
for
were able
him.
to keep their workers
So
on.
you could fit like
people
3
who
of
were
them in there.
servers became
And he
drivers
loves
to
it.
deliver
He
meals
sleeps
to-
on top
to
of it, so
families.
it's in the
And,
living room right there. I can grab it and
I'm
go.
very, very proud to
Boom.
say each and every one of those restaurants survived the pandemic.
Oh, Bob,
and
thank you
is
so much
in
for the
business
really nice
today,
donation,
serving
Bob.
our community, hiring workers, providing jobs, and making the quality of
Let's go, Bob.
the quality of all of our lives better. I want to
James,
point
thank you
out
so
a
much,
few of
James
them.
Burns.
We have from Post and Beam.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Kathy. Wow, how come all these just came in right now?
Roni Cleveland. We
These
have
today?
from the world
Kathy,
famous
thank you.
Doolin's restaurant.
Kat, you
Mr.
rock.
Greg Doolin's
James,
is
you
with
rock.
us.
Ian, you rock.
There he is.
Michelle, you rock. Thank you guys.
From
Sorry, it all
Taos
just
Cafe,
came in when I
James
just
Taylor
touched
is
it.
with us. Tyler, sorry.
It's weird. Why is the alert stuck?
Don't mess up my food when I go when I go over to Taos. And from South LA Cafe, one of the stars during this time period.
Thank you, Jim
Celia and
Eaton.
Joe Ward Wallace are with us
weird.
today. Let's give them a big round of applause. I want to make fun of Joe because he just told me he was a firefighter with LAFD for 22 years and he did not once come into City Hall chambers. And so
LA will be fine. Trust me. By the time it gets here, it's nothing but a tropical storm. It's not going to do anything but drop some little bit of rain and have some wind with it. That's it. I promise you. You're gonna see more and more people bitching and crying and complaining about what's going to happen, and then you're gonna ask them to show you the damage that happened in their house, and they're gonna show you nothing. They're gonna show you the bouncy house that got pushed to the side or something.
Or an RFP.
Like, come on, man.
To be the restaurant.
Same thing with the
Going
earthquakes.
to the Natural History Museum, you remember as a kid, you get
Some
off the
light
bus
flooding.
and you go
I mean, we
there
get
and you go
light
in and
flooding
there'd be a
when it
McDonald's,
rains
right?
here. We get light
and
flooding.
You'd be excited about going through the.
We do.
through
Certain
the,
places flood.
Exhibits, and at
We
the
get
end,
flash
you get
floods
McDonald's.
all the time out in the desert.
The contract for
In fact,
that
when you're on the way to
space was up.
Vegas, it's very dangerous to
And,
drive this time
our
of the year to
restaurants got
Vegas.
together,
Flash floods
and
will
it
push
worked
your
out
car
that
right
no
off the
one
road. You ain't
restaurant
paying
had
attention.
everything you needed in order to be competitive for that contract.
Bob and Kate, thank you so
they
much.
Put together a group as
Bob and
restaurants,
Katie,
they
thank
applied
you.
together. And they were
Thank you,
able
Katie.
to win
Thank you,
that
Bob.
contract. So now, when you go to the museum and you get food,
That's
you'll
right,
get
Terry.
some combination of. I think you'll get coffee from South LA Cafe. You might get a sandwich from Post and Beam. But the point is,
Not
it'll
the
be
bouncy
food
house,
from our
right, huh,
neighborhood by
Esther?
businesses that are operating there. And so we're very, very excited about the work that they have done, but also what they will do. And thank them so much. And congratulations on Black Business Day. I'm not. I'm
Well,
gonna
they don't
pick
quite know
one
the
of you to come up and
trajectory,
present.
John.
I'm looking at you, Mr. LAFD, to come up and say a few words on behalf of our businesses in South LA.
Ooh. You should have had the media trained person.
Does he ever shut
thank you
up?
for
No.
that. I appreciate it very much. And
No.
just so you guys understand, this was hard work to get
Already
this
30
done.
minutes in.
I think we all know
And we haven't
that.
done any work.
And for whenever you have a big, huge project like this and you have so many people involved.
I don't understand why they don't do this shit on
there's
another
also other
day
people
or,
on the
or
outside
after.
going,
Or have a whole
How they
separate,
gonna do that?
separate thing for
Well,
the
we came
presentations.
together, which was-
Doesn't make sense to me.
I'm getting a little emotional here. We came together and
Well,
got
sure,
this
it'll
done.
punch you harder in San Diego
And,
because you're
I
right
mean,
next to
that's-
Mexico.
I mean, I could drop the mic
It'll
on that.
actually be a
We
hurricane
came
maybe
together
down there,
and got this
or
done.
a strong tropical
With all
storm
of us.
that just
Thank
was a hurricane is now a strong tropical storm, kind of thing. But,
All right.
you'll
so
be
now
fine.
we're going to hear from
Trust.
Post and Beam.
You'll
Mr.
be
Cleveland,
fine.
come on up.
Putting you on the spot.
You're on.
Is the
Put me
chat
on the spot.
disabled? No.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you
Blue
so
Light's
much.
in there talking. Casey's
Councilman
in there
Marquise
talking.
Dawson
Dro's in
and,
there talking.
My family.
Or Droid, sorry, Droid Lord.
Has truly been welcomed
On there
in
talking.
the district and in South LA. I take a lot of pride in saying that I married
Sir
into
Indica,
LA.
yeah, it's
And
not
my
it's
wife's
not
beautiful
OBS.
family
It's
welcomed me into
it's
this
the internet.
neighborhood
It's
and,
good old Spectrum.
getting
Dropping
through the
my
pandemic and
upload
being
speed,
here with you all,
throttling.
getting new contracts and creating new partnerships, and the amount of jobs that we're creating together is incredible. We're just beginning, and thank you for the award and honor to be here.
Having a block party tomorrow and the carnival still up? Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I'd have a block party. But,
Yeah, I just.
I think
wanna
you'll be
say,
fine if it's
thank
tomorrow.
you to
It's not supposed to be here till
Councilmember
Monday.
Marquise Harris Dawson.
Saturday.
He
You'll be fine.
mentioned that we survived during the pandemic, but it was primarily in part because of him. So we're grateful for him. I'm grateful to be a South Los Angeles native, and just thank you for everybody being here and supporting us.
as much as they suck, I got to tell you, as much as Spectrum sucks, they do suck. Absolutely. I won't defend them in any way. But I'll tell you what, if you sat where I lived and looked at every one of the ISP providers and looked at their speed, and for the price that you're paying, they give you the fastest speed that anybody offers. Nobody offers a faster speed than Spectrum in my area, just first off, okay? Second off, even with the fastest speed, they're about $10 more than the guys that are about to give me half the speed for that same price for just 10 less. So, like them or not, they at least provide a fast speed. So when it works, we know it works. It glitches sometimes.
Back and be able to grow and then learn from everyone else. So we appreciate it. And we also appreciate all the recognition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a gig in that?
And to close, along with Harold and Bells, the dean of black restaurants in Southern California, from the world famous Doolin's, Mr. Greg Doolin.
I'm not that old. I'm just proud to be here.
You don't look
and
old.
Thank you, Marquise and Heather, for the recognition. Proud.
How fast?
Second generation restaurant.
300. I'm at 350 down, and it should be 20 up. And 20 up is fine, but the problem is when it starts going gray screening and I look at my speed test, I'm at 3 up. So they take me from 20 up to 3 up, and the upload speed is what matters, not the download, right? Not when you're uploading shit to the internet like I am.
So first of all,
it's all about the
I
upload.
believe these restaurants are in what I call the 810.
Yeah.
Man, can we just go?
They're the 8th district.
Can we get going to some work?
District
Please. Why does he have a Santa hat
and
on?
we're happy about the ones that are.
Who has a Santa hat on back there? Why?
It is so good to see.
Or is that an In-N-Out hat?
Our businesses
What is that?
grow and thrive, especially through the hard times that we had. And just to let you know how proud I am, Greg and I went to junior high and high school together, and he was a James Beard nominee this year. So we are super proud of the work that he's doing now.
Taco Bell don't have
I mean,
hats.
now
At least Taco Bell here doesn't.
Do your plaques, right?
Maybe in your
And
state.
thank you all.
Those are In-N-Out hats or something.
Thank you all for the work that you
Councilmember
do.
Hutt?
Yes.
If I can, please.
Please, Mr. President.
I want to recognize members who wish to be heard, and we'll start with Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, it's
Oh,
wonderful
me,
to
one
have
time when I was
South
growing
LA,
up, and me and my
South
father
LA's
was so
greatest
awesome, and
eateries in
he
the house
just
this
took us
morning.
all,
I
and he
wanna
was
thank
awesome. And,
Mr. Harris
yeah.
Dawson and Ms. Hutt for bringing you all in. It feels generational when you talk about from Harold and Bells to Post and Beam to South LA Cafe, all of which I've had, okay, and have enjoyed. I remember going with my buddy Butch Grimes for the first time to Harold and Bells and getting, like, gosh, I think it must have been about 15, 20 years ago or so. And just all of the evolution
All right, guys, let's go.
of food coming out of South LA has been remarkable. I had the privilege, it popped up in my memories on social media. I think it was about 8 years or so ago when Local came on the scene in Watts. And I was working on that with Roy Choi, with Aquila, to help make that happen. And I remember when it was just an exciting dream. And I was part of that crowdsourcing effort to help fundraise, because I said, this is what Watts needs. We need to have good food establishments that bring community together. And on a day when we celebrate Peruvian contributions and black businesses in Los Angeles, this is who we are in LA. And so it's just really wonderful to have you all here. Thank you as the council foodie. I want to say keep doing what you're doing.
Definitely a foodie,
Love
girl.
it. Love what you all bring, and I love just the evolution. And I was happy to see South LA Cafe being at the Hollywood Bowl, for example. The reach is amazing, and I love the coalition building that your businesses have brought. It's an example that is also modeled in Mr.
I didn't
De
see it,
Leon's
Misty.
district
Misty, I
at
missed it.
Milpa Cafe, where everybody is bringing together, as small individuals come together, make a powerful force for change and economic opportunity in the community. So I just want to say thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for going through that struggle, because
Thank you for letting us shut you down for 2 years over the shamdemic, and then just come in here and give you a piece of paper, tell you how awesome you are after we crushed your business out.
environments in neighborhoods that are no different than mine, that so often get overlooked. But together, our economic power
Remember,
is
where's your
unstoppable.
masks? You're all
So
going to
thank you
die.
so
There's
much
a
for doing what you
did the
do.
curve get flattened?
Thank you.
Of course it didn't. Of course, there
Thank
was no
you.
curve to flatten.
Councilmember Hutt,
Fucking
Councilmember
morons.
Harris Dawson, I just want to thank you for this presentation, and thank you
Thank you, Spectrum.
bringing in the Black Business Association and all of these individual business owners. It's not often enough that we have business owners, especially small business owners, in this council chambers. We hear from all sorts of different advocacy groups and stakeholders around this city, but we don't hear enough from small business owners, because small business owners are always busy running their small businesses. And
No,
making sure
they
they're
weren't,
putting
because they were
food
shut
on the
down for the
table
last
their
2 years
family,
before this.
Making sure that they're
Don't you
providing
lie.
new
You
jobs,
motherfuckers
and
forced them.
opportunities
You
for people.
motherfucker
Making sure that
forced
they have
them.
a thriving business like
So
so
their
many of
thriving
yours that
business
help
could be
to
shut
find
down over some
communities
sham bullshit.
and in a generational
So the scared
way
little
help to
bitches
provide,
could get their way.
centers,
Oh, he's
of
spreading. He didn't
and
take his
places where
shot.
people
He's a no good
celebrate
one.
and enjoy one
Still
another
laughing
and
at you
their-
'cause
one
you took
another's
that
company
shit.
and enjoy what's
I will
unique
never
about
stop.
each
I will
neighborhood
never
in
let
this
you live
great
it down.
city.
All the
And
ones that
it's
came in here and
small
talked
business
shit to me.
owners
I will
who
never let
do
you live
that.
it down. Not
And
to the
so
day you
as
die.
we celebrate
You'll be on
all
your
of
deathbed,
you, and
I'll
as
be
we
making fun of you.
recognize the Black Business Association.
Okay.
I'd like to welcome you to
Super
come
spreader.
back frequently. And I'd
Remember,
like,
the conspiracy theorist is still here.
But also, I want to urge all of us to remember the people who are standing here being recognized today.
I don't know.
When we
Look,
make
Rob, I can't tell you.
policies
They're just.
that affect
It's on and on and
businesses,
on. It's the
when
it's the
we,
stroking.
do
They're
the
stroking
work
each
that
other's
we
backs
need
and
to
cocks.
do to help stimulate the
He's trying to
economy
make
and
it seem
create-
like he cares about the black community and give you some real uplifting and righteous words. He doesn't give a shit about any of these people. Let's be fucking honest. He don't give a fuck about any of the people standing in front of him. Okay, and he shut down all their businesses too, with glee.
Right here at this microphone, at this podium right now, who are creating jobs, who are trying their best in a very difficult environment to make dreams come true for their family and for other people's families by creating and encouraging business here in Los Angeles. And so thank you all for your resiliency through some of the most difficult times that businesses have faced in the city since the Great Depression. Thank you for continuing to believe in the future of Los Angeles and for inspiring us as well because of your commitment and your resiliency. It's a great pleasure to have you all here.
That's all. It's a virtual signaling. That's all this is right here. This is a cock stroke. Let me stroke your cock. I'll pretend like I like it. Hurry up and grab your fucking piece of paper and get your cock out of here.
A certificate of recognition that we're handing out to each of the restaurants.
What?
And
No
we'll now do our,
basketball?
famous
They didn't
photo
get the
op.
signed basketball like everybody else gets. Why come the Peruvians didn't get it either? The fuck? Where did all the basketballs go? Everybody else for the last 2 months, everybody got basketballs coming in here. Got a free signed basketball by all these idiots. And I have to think to myself, how many of these people actually take the basketball, those kids that got the basketballs? Do you think they actually put them on their wall and be like, wow, that's signed by the president of the city council? Like, wow, I can't believe he actually signed it. You know, it's like, come on, man, you gotta be shitting me right now. You think any of these people fucking give a shit about any of that? You're crazy, man. Ooh. You crazy, man. Uh-oh. There it goes. Yeah, right, Cass? I mean, come on.
All right,
Nobody gives
thank
a
you
shit
all
about
very
that
much.
stuff they
With
give them.
that, we
Whether
are
it's those
ready to
pictures
move
or
to the public comment
there's
portion of our
stupid
meeting.
signed
So,
basketballs
Madam
that they
Clerk,
give
Mr. City
everybody
Attorney, if you could please
that aren't
begin,
even good basketballs.
our instructions
Not even like a
for
real NBA ball.
Yes, sir.
You can tell how
As
orange it is.
indicated on the agenda, members of the public wishing to offer public comment should call 669.
Sell it on eBay. Who's buying that on eBay?
254-5252
Nobody's buying that
and
on
use
eBay.
Meeting ID number 160.
Not even the morons that vote for them want that basketball. And there we go. 669-254-5252. You want to call in? 669-254-5252. Right there. Call in.
Press star 9 to request to speak.
Yeah, about
When
time,
it is
right?
your turn to speak, an automated Zoom
Melanie,
voice
it only
will
took
ask you
him
to
42
press star
minutes,
6
Melanie.
to unmute. Again, call 669-254-5252 and use meeting ID number 160-535-8466.
Yeah,
then
like
press
Dollar
pound.
General
Press
basketball. That's
pound
what I'm
again
saying.
when
Like
prompted
super
for
orange.
participant
Don't
ID.
bounce right.
Once admitted into the meeting,
They're
press
not like
star 9 to
brownish like a
request to
real
speak.
basketball,
When
you
it
know?
is your turn to speak, an automated Zoom voice will ask you to press star 6 to unmute.
Caller, how does my mask look? It saved my life because I don't have an immune system like the rest of the world.
You would like to speak on. You have 1 minute.
fucking
per
hair's
item to
looking
speak,
nice today.
Up to 3 minutes total, and 1 minute for general public.
Damn,
comment.
you got a big ass
Speak to
head.
The items before beginning general public comment.
Who was it
We
that
will
called
tell
in
you
and
when your
said
time
that?
is up.
Shout out to you.
When
Damn, you got
speaking
a
on
big
the
ass
agenda
head.
Items, you must be on topic.
Was it Capone?
Our
I think
goal
it was
is to get
Capone.
through as many speakers as we can. If you are not speaking on topic, or
I want to say it
if
was
we cannot
Capone. They
tell
called
whether
him,
you are
told him he
speaking
had a
on
big
topic,
ass head.
You will get one brief warning from me or the president. If you do not immediately,
I mean, that's a
get
boulder.
clearly
That's a
on
basketball.
topic, or again,
It's a
stray
giant
off
boulder.
topic, you will forfeit the rest
There's
of your
the
speaking
basketball,
time,
Rick.
and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment are 6 and 13 through 15. For members of the public calling in to speak, when it is your turn, an
Caveman,
automated
he's like a
message
pumpkin
from
head.
Zoom
Yeah, it was
will
Capone,
prompt you
right?
to press star 6 to unmute yourself. If you do not do so, council staff will
up,
prompt
Mike?
you once more. If you do not immediately unmute yourself when prompted by council staff, you will forfeit your time and we will move on to the next speaker. If you are listening to the meeting on your computer, channel 35, or another device, please turn down those devices, the volume on those devices immediately when it is your turn to speak. Because of feedback and a time delay between the live meeting and the
Why
broadcast,
don't they just record this?
it will
Are they
cause
that
a lot
stupid?
Of confusion if you continue to listen on
They
those
could
devices.
record their voice and push
Finally,
play. I do it.
for our
I
callers,
record them and push
please
play.
keep an ear to the
They
phone
can't do
so you
it.
know when it is
I'm
your
an
turn to
idiot.
speak. Thank you.
I've got nothing. They're an entire city with billions of dollars. You're telling me they couldn't buy a
Thank you very
machine
much.
like
We're
I
ready to
have?
begin.
Gotta be
I'm
shitting
gonna
me.
call out a number of names.
Gotta be
As
shitting
I
me.
call your name, please make your way to your left-hand side of the chamber.
They're just
so
dumb.
that our sergeants
Yeah, they're
can
just stupid.
direct you to the podium.
Nothing really to say about it.
I'm going to call.
I'm gonna beat around the bush.
Susana Moncada, Maria Ponce de Leon, Maria Cibrian, Julia Nicolas, and Maurice Littles, please.
Maurice Littles? I like that name. Yeah, no, there's some of the. I see Mr. Herman's in there. He's got his Batman shirt on. I don't see Mr. Sachs. I see Fisk guy. He's up there next to the podium standing up.
My name is Susana.
Y venimos a
And we
apoyar
are here to
el proyecto de la
support the
alcaldesa
project
Karen Bach
for Karen Bach.
a comprar el hotel
Also
que
to
es
buy
bien
the hotel
necesario
that is very necessary
para nuestra gente que
for
vive en la
our
calle.
community, for
It's
the
in the
people
front
that
room,
live in the
Jules.
streets.
Our interpreter is a little hard to hear. If you could please speak up and speak directly into the mic.
Or you have a better sound person that
Thank
could
you, that's
actually.
Al aprobar
the
este
sound going right.
proyecto,
When you approve this project,
estamos ayudando a
we are
mucha gente
helping
que
a lot
vive
of
en la
people
calle,
that live in the street.
en lo cual también les
And
vamos a poder
also,
ayudar
we will be able to help
con la salud mental.
people with mental problems, mental health.
Sabemos que
We
son
know
personas que
that there
son
are people
dignas de tener
that
un lugar
are worthy to have a place
en el cual se lo merecen.
that they deserve.
Yo sé que podría ser
I
mucho
know
dinero,
that I could make a lot of money.
pero a la vez
However,
sabemos que
at the same
estamos
time, I know that we
ayudando
are
a nuestras
helping
comunidades.
our communities.
Clínica Monseñor Romero
Clínica Monseñor Romero,
por 40
for
años
40 years,
ha estado prestando
has
servicio a
been
nuestras
giving
comunidades.
services to our communities.
Thank you.
Espero que
Gracias.
este proyecto
I
nos
hope that this
ayude
project helps
ustedes
us.
Speaker, your
porque
time
en
has
sus
expired.
manos está todo.
Gracias.
Thank you. And can I ask
Gracias.
your name again, please?
¿A su nombre otra vez?
Su nombre?
Susana Moncada.
Susana
Gracias.
Moncada.
Okay, next speaker, please.
There's a Florida chase? Oh, no. On channel, on a channel?
Bueno,
show?
buenos días a todos.
Good morning.
If you could please
Televised.
remind us of the name you
Mi
signed up
Si
nombre
nos
for.
es
puedes
María
recordar,
Ponce de
my
León.
name is María Ponce de León.
Soy promotora de salud de
I'm a
Clínica
promoter
Monseñor Romero.
of the clinic Monseñor Romero.
Y aquí estamos para
And we are here
apoyar
to support
a la proposición de la
the
alcaldesa Karen
proposition
Bass.
Karen Bass.
Okay,
Como
again.
promotora,
I don't need the 1,000 live chase. Put what fucking channel it's on. Fuck. Is that hard?
tienen todas las personas
that
que
hard?
están
Tell me what
sin
channel.
hogar.
That are homeless.
That's it.
Hemos
What
visto
channel?
familias
Seen families
durmiendo en
sleeping
los parques,
in
en
the
sus carros.
parks or in their cars.
Así que sabemos que
So we
todas estas
know that all
personas
of these persons
necesitan
need
tener un lugar
Guess it's not on.
digno
a
donde se
worthy
puedan
place
bañar
Stinks
to
is
be
in the
able to
front
bathe
room.
Donde puedan
themselves,
dormir
where they can sleep,
sin problemas
without any
de ser
problems,
dañados o tener algún
and to
problema
be
en las
safe or
calles.
to have any problems in the streets.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Maurice Littles. I'm here with SEIU 2015, and we're here to promote number 11. And I just want to bring you up.
I don't
to
do enough
date
work
some
for
of
you,
the stories
GC?
That I have my own.
For free?
I've been a caregiver since 2002.
Exactly.
I took care of my mom until she passed in 2017 at 98 years old, and I'm taking care of my father now, who is 96. And in the time that we've been here, I myself am a vet. and a caregiver for IHS. And during the time I've been with IHS, I have found out that some of my sisters and brothers, even though they had clients, was living out of their cars. And to me, I was shocked and ashamed to even think that that would be happening in the city, one of the greatest cities in the world. And we need to do something about that. And if this is a positive move toward doing that, I'm supporting it 100%. And I wish that all my council members and everyone would get behind it and do the same. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. And as our next speaker is coming forward, I'm going to call a few more names. Rachel Lewis, Alicia Vasquez, Natalia Lozada, Lauren Natalie, Robert Fields, and Mark Dyer, please. Good morning.
Buenos días a todos.
Good morning,
Mi
everyone.
nombre es María Cibrián, soy una
My name is
proveedora de
Maria
cuidado en
Cibrián,
casa
and I'm a
por
provider.
22 años y yo vivo
For
en el área
22
de
years, I live
San
in the
Fernando
area of
Valley
San
en Panorama City.
Fernando,
Yo mi venir ahora es
and I come here today
apoyar
to support
al proyecto de
the
la
project
alcaldesa
for
para que se
Alcaldesa,
obtenga este
to
hotel.
It's crazy how
be
many
able to
biters there
obtain
are
this
now doing
hotel,
chases.
because all of
It's
the
crazy.
people
Muchas veces los
many
generales
times
How many
they
biters
don't
are
know
there? Wow.
chase right
but
now.
they really don't know
¿Cuál es la situación de cada
specifically
persona que
which
vive en
is
la
the
calle?
situation.
All these
of
fools
every
never
person
saw
that
doing
lives in
chases,
the
now doing
community.
chases.
Maybe they lost their job,
Pero por
maybe
eso es muy
economic.
importante
It's
que
very
todos tenemos
important
derecho a
that we
vivir
all
bajo un
have
techo.
a right to have a
Entonces
roof
nosotros
over our
nos
heads.
apoyamos esta
So
No
we're
one gives a
here in
shit.
support
Don't mention that
of this
name in here,
state
Dave.
no
Zoom.
haya más gente viviendo en
to
la
do
calle.
this
Who gives a
hotel so
shit
that
about
they
that
don't
fucking-
live in the street.
In fact, you want to name people?
Thank you.
Put you in a little timeout.
He goes off to the
There you
side
go,
of the
Dave.
road there on that
I'd
breakdown
like
lane.
to
That's
ask
for
our
you, Davey.
interpreter to please remind speakers to pause so that there's time for the interpretation, and they won't lose time
All right, you
because
too,
we
James.
do add the time
You go
in for
too.
interpretation. So if you could please remind speakers to just take
You
a
guys
moment
can
to
sit in
pause
the
so we
corner for a
can
little bit.
understand everything that's being said. Can you do that, please?
Stater Brothers.
Our interpreter?
Yes,
Where
I
get the
did.
Stater Brothers out of here. Come on, get out of here.
Do you want me to say it on this
CC
microphone?
out of here.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying that as I was speaking into the microphones. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Very good. Next speaker.
I don't
Good
know what to
morning,
do, guys. We
Hola,
got
buenos
this, we
días.
got
Muy
that.
buenos días.
Guess I got to change the title
Mi
now.
nombre es Natalia Lozada.
My
Soy
name is
promotora de
Natalia
Clínica Monseñor
Lozada.
Romero.
I'm a promoter of Clínica Romero.
Clínica Romero está el día de hoy para apoyar la
Clínica Romero
iniciativa
is here to support the initiative
de la alcaldesa,
of the alcaldesa
Karen Bass.
Karen Bass.
pues esto traerá alivio a
And
las
this will
familias
bring
sin hogar.
relief for those
Man,
families
this
that
car's
do
all
not
fucked
have
up
a
on the
home.
side. Look at that.
Este proyecto debe ser acompañado
This project must be accompanied by
de otras acciones que beneficien a las comunidades.
other actions that can
That's it.
benefit
You
our
don't mention other
communities.
fucking streamers
Alrededor
shits in
del
there.
Hotel
What's up,
Around
IP2?
the
They do
hotel
win.
repair.
Clínica Romero está lista
Clínica Romero is ready
para trabajar con la
to
comunidad.
work with the community.
Yeah, they're saying,
Muchísimas
what do you call it?
Thank you
Suspect.
so much.
Thank you.
Kidnapping, carjacking
Next speaker,
suspect, as
please.
you can see there on the screen. That's why he's running like a crazy madman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You could
They
please
do get
remind us of the
priority.
name that you signed up under and the items you would
As
like
you
to speak
hear,
on.
we're only listening
My
to
name
what's
is
going on.
Rachel Lewis. The item is number 11. I live in the district of Miss Parks.
I mean, if he's carjacked one car, what's going to say he wouldn't
I'm
carjack
I'm
another?
Here
Yeah, I got to put the hat on.
About the Mayfair project. I am a home care provider, and I have been a home care provider for many years for my daughter who is disabled. However, like my friend before me, we're talking about people who are sleeping in cars making minimum wage. We're talking about people who have no home. And my understanding about the Mayfair project is that they're going to implement people so that they can have mental health in
Yeah,
the
man.
building. So that
I already
they can
fucked
have
the side of that thing up,
services,
but they said they already
in the building.
tried to
And I
pit
think
maneuver
this
him,
is
so
a
that
better
could be from
thing
the
than
pit.
what was preceded
May
when they
not be from
first
his
did it
doing.
during the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak on.
Yes, good morning. I'm Lauren Natoli from AIDS Healthcare Foundation, speaking on 11 in general public comment.
Okay, so item number 11 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So you have 1 minute.
Okay, great, thank you. Good morning. So I'm speaking on item number 11. I want to say that the high cost of interim housing is a barrier to LA's homeless housing initiatives. When the city spends millions of dollars on projects with a cost like $282,000 per unit, like
Yeah,
the
that
Mayfair
fucking
hotels
Florida trooper is
cost,
on his ass.
less money is devoted to services that actually connect people and services that will get people housed in the future. Additionally, interim housing is not the solution to homelessness housing. If the city is going to be spending such prices on homelessness housing, it should be served for permanent units. It should
Guys,
be
give me
for
a sec
places
here. I
where
might be
people
able to
can
find
really
us a
rest
feed
their
on the
head.
phone.
Permanent supportive housing will allow the money spent on homelessness housing to be stretched much farther with real results. In 2020, a study from UCSF found that 86% of participants randomized into permanent supportive housing were successfully housed. By contrast, only 1/3 of people not randomized into permanent housing found their way to housing. Please use the money for real housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I know he's from Palm Beach, but where is he now?
Good morning, Speaker. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak on.
Good morning. My name is Robert Fields. I'm with the Healthy Housing Foundation on item 11 and general comment.
Okay, so item number 11 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So you have 1 minute.
So I agree with the lady previous to me that the interim housing is really not the solution. We're spending too much money per unit, per person, and we have successfully done repurposing of
Going
buildings
on
in
now.
Los
We're
Angeles.
dying
and we're
here.
housing
Come on.
people with average rent of $600 a month, and this is permanent housing. We're finding many of our applicants are not really wanting to go through your interim program, so it's really, you're throwing the money in the wrong way. So we have a successful way of housing people for much less, and we would like you to consider that.
I can't find it.
Thank you. All right, as our next speaker is coming up, I'm going to call a few more names. Julia Nicholas, Alicia
Yeah, it's a
Vasquez,
Kia. It looks
Mark
like one.
Dyer, Dominique
Going to Disney
Eastman,
World.
Dina Cruz,
I'm going
and
to
Socorro
Disneyland.
Chacon, please.
He just won the
Good
Super
morning.
Bowl.
Good morning. My name is Mark Dyer. I'm with the AIDS Healthcare Foundation.
Oh, whoa, whoa! What happened to the tire? Tire blew out. Oh shit! The tire blew out? No, he just hit the brakes. No, his tire's done.
$2,000 a unit.
And we're getting loops. What are we getting now?
$6,000 a year to house.
Yep, that's a loop because we know that happened. Look, the tire's gone.
PHF has successfully
Blew his tire out.
has a model that we've done at $100,000.
And it's it. And they.
We support people.
What the hell happened right here, bro?
$600 a month on average.
What's going on?
There's a much better solution for.
Oh, is that the
housing
old
and
shit? They
permanent
pitted. Oh,
housing
so that's the old. That's
instead of interim
yeah, okay.
housing,
Wait,
and I
what's
think
going
that should be
on?
considered and looked
What
at
the
more
fuck is going on right here, bro? What the fuck is going on
Thank
right
you
here,
very
bro?
much. Next speaker, please.
What the fuck? Okay. So we saw a tire blow.
My
We
name is
went
Dominic
to
Eastman.
a turnpike cam.
I want to speak
All of a
to
sudden it's over.
item number 11
Huh.
as well. I'm associate director of
How do we go from a turnpike cam to a camera
of the
up
housing
in
department.
the sky?
Just piggybacking off what my colleagues say, $83 million for
guess.
a building with 300 units
Awesome.
is excessive, especially when we're trying to put people get people off the streets and in the housing. We can do it within 5 to 10 business days.
A lot of
from
cameras are
homeless
doo-doo.
to housing.
I'm sure ours
and
aren't
tried
any
and
better.
true. We're very
You know,
quick,
those
we're
cameras
very
are old. They're not trying
efficient
to
at it.
put fucking
we think if
8K
there's
cams up in
46,000
that joint.
people that are unhoused at the moment. So $83 million
Maybe 7 got
for
Spectrum, too.
300 units, that's pretty excessive. You need 153
Sure looks like it.
Mayfair
When it's cutting
hotels,
up.
totaling over $12 billion to get that population housed. So
Yeah, look at
we
it.
would like to
See, they're going to the
oppose purchase of
turnpike
the
camp.
property. I think the money could be allocated
'Cause their
for
shit, they lost
a wide
their own
variety
feed.
of housing opportunities, as well as putting a dent in the homeless population.
Thank you very much.
Buford T. Justice.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect.
I'm going to
for
call
the
a
law.
few more names. Rolando Chavez,
What?
Mark Loringer, Hillary Storm.
Are we done with the
Charles
chase, ladies and
Porter,
gentlemen? Let me
Bill
know. I'll let you decide.
Kuchluki, Rob Kwan, and Rowan Van Sleeve, please. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Dina Cruz. I live in Council District 14, but I grew up in Pico Union, Westlake as a Salvadorian immigrant, so I'm intimately familiar with the community. I am here in support of
And big ups to all the biters who have zero originality. Saw this show and had to take something from it and run with it. Shout out to you. You all know who you are.
corner of the city. I urge you to support this project, but also anyone
Chase
that
is over? All
opposes
right,
this
let's-
project, what they're saying is that they perpetuate racism,
Hold on, I gotta
poverty,
change here,
and the
too.
inhumane conditions that our house neighbors live. So just I urge you to listen carefully about those narratives that are being shared today and to support this project because it's gonna really help the communities. Thank you.
Thank you. You. Next speaker, please.
Shoot. There we go. All right.
Good morning. My name is Socorro Chacon.
Biters are always going to bite
11.
because they have zero
I'm here
originality.
in, I live
That's
in
it.
Council
They're just not
District
original.
9
They have
and
zero
work on
original
Council
thoughts in their
District
brains. They
14,
have to look at other
both
people and what
areas
they
with a
do and
large
steal those
amount
ideas and
of
try to run with it.
housing needs, and that's why I'm
Always
here
remember who the
today
originator
to
was.
support this project, which is a comprehensive plan to address homelessness in the city. I
Guys,
understand
give me
the
one moment. I
concerns
see
of
Spectrum's
proximity
fucking
to
this again. I
schools
apologize.
and residents' concerns. However, we now have encampments near schools in our neighborhoods. I support this project as it is an opportunity for the unhoused to live a dignified life off the streets and receive
What's up, Christy? How are ya?
services
Good
they
morning.
need provided by the
Happy
Wingard
Friday to
Center,
you.
including the site being
Trying to get all my
secured
stuff back together
24/7 that will cover many of the concerns debated in the last
I don't
3
know
days.
if it's a compliment, Terry.
Thank
Because
you.
none of those people compliment
Next speaker,
me.
please.
They just steal it. They don't compliment me. You don't hear them say anything nice about us being the
Good morning,
family.
Speaker. If you could please
In
remind
fact,
us
some
of
of
the
those
names
people
of
had
the
other
funder
people
and the
on their
items
shows
you'd
that
like to
talk
speak
shit
on.
about us.
Yes.
So absolutely
Rolando
not.
Chavez,
It's not a
item
compliment.
11.
Compliment would be somebody, wow,
You have
I
1
really
minute for
like
general
this
public
dude's stuff and I took it
Thank
from
you.
him.
Good
and-
morning.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
here on behalf of Ultimate Health Services, the largest federally qualified health center in Los
I don't-
Angeles
I can't
and
agree with that
nationally.
one.
We proudly
That
stand
assessment.
with Mary Karen Bass
I know
and her
the-
efforts
I know the
and
saying
commitment
that, you
to
know,
seek solutions to end
you
Los
know,
Angeles, Los Angeles
plagiarism is
homelessness
a
epidemic.
form of flattery.
Our unhoused deserve a compassionate approach to their,
Oh, my God, and Stinks is in
to
here.
their quality of life.
How did
As a
Stinks get in
major
here and I didn't
healthcare
even
provider
see
in the
him?
region, we understand
What's
this,
going
that in order to address health inequities among among the population, inequities among this its complex and high need population, we must seek and find immediate pragmatic solutions to housing access, along with other
let's go.
social
Let's
drivers
get
of
this
health. We thank Mayor
Now I
Karen
gotta
Bass
take the
for
title and
her
change the
tireless
title
leadership
again.
on this matter, and thank you all.
That way, where's the cheese?
Thank you.
Clickbaiter.
Next speaker, please.
Look at clickbaiter. I can't be waiting for the cheese. Clickbaiter.
Good morning, Mark Loranger, President and CEO of Chrysalis. On item number 11, I'm here to strongly support and encourage the purchase of the Mayfair Hotel. It's an important solution for the Inside Safe
Yeah, Terry,
program
that's
to
all.
be successful and provides a
is it
safe
still
landing
showing that?
spot for our LA Grand folks. At Chrysalis, we run employment social enterprises that provide job opportunities at projects like this, and in fact, we're providing 80 staff through Weingart, 7 Weingart facilities for programs like this. They're doing janitorial, meal delivery, and other services.
Thanks,
And
Monty.
these clients
Good to
tell
see
me about how important it is that they are helping the community. They're
Give her us
giving
money.
back and they're helping their neighbors because they are from those communities. They have been homeless themselves, and now they're part of that solution. So we all have to do our part, and I strongly encourage you to go through with this purchase. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Oh, you knew plenty already. Robot Dog. And no, I didn't see the Robot Dog work in action. I need to see that
morning.
video.
Good morning, Charles Porter. I work with
I missed
United
out on
Coalition
that.
East Prevention Program in Skid Row. I would like to speak on item
That's
11.
awesome. They're gonna tell 'em I
we are
said thank
facing
you and I
syndemic
shout them out.
conditions, including homelessness and
Shout out
overdoses
to
grounded
KC.
in systemic failure and racism. Community members in Skid Row have advocated for the
Look at
city's
these.
acquisition of property
Look.
to create community spaces
boy.
and meet local need. This is a progressive
Handsome
step
cat.
toward helping the most vulnerable and will provide critical wraparound services. Although not located in Skid Row, it will serve people from that neighborhood. We view social connection as the opposite of addiction, and this site has great potential for strengthening these connections. I also ask that Inside Safe projects provide leadership roles for residents to inform
Stacy's there,
service
Bob.
delivery, programming, and
She's in
to
the
help
back.
measure effectiveness. Lastly, naloxone should be accessible to tenants, and any security should be unarmed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Which of the items would you like to speak on?
Morning, Grote. I'd like to speak on item 13 in general public comment.
Okay.
What did he
you
call
have
him,
1
Grote?
minute for the item and 1 minute for general
What did he
public
say to
comment.
him? Good morning,
Please
Grote?
begin with the item.
I'm here to speak in support of the
Big
Controller's
country, thank
appointment of
you.
Jamie York to the Ethics Commission. Appreciate the Council President scheduling this item and the Controller for making a great pick. This isn't your average commission. You need somebody on here that speaks the language, actually understands the political context, and is actually committed to being independent and taking the role seriously. For way too long, we've had some potted plants on this commission. There have been some really great commissioners along the years. I remember in 2018 when I first started looking at matching funds reform, the first thing I did was read all 4 reports on the matching funds program and listen to all 4 of the meetings. And it became startlingly clear that a bunch of these people on this commission had no idea what was going on. And that it's not for, to be too harsh, just looking at the issues at hand. You're dealing with things like the max match, qualifying contributions, aggregate threshold, how all of those 3 are interrelated. This was painful to explain to some of the council offices afterwards.
General public comment?
See, then you called him a ball, Jimmy?
But we did have some commissioners that were really well versed in things. Commissioner Levinson was able to shepherd them through a number of meetings, and then after she left, Commissioner Oberstein was actually able to go through a marathon meeting and deliver this council something that was almost done. You had a couple tweaks that you had to do, and that was it. Jamie's going to be able to dive into policy like that. She was into reform before it became cool, after we had a bunch of corruption scandals. She was deeply involved during the redistricting process, supporting independent redistricting and council expansion years ago.
I don't know, wise guy.
Last year
Why
during
not?
the conversations on charter ethics reform, the municipal lobbying ordinance. I just know that she knows her stuff as well as anybody around this horseshoe. And I would say she knows it better than any of y'all, but for the one council member who has served on the Ethics Commission, so I will show that bit of respect. Really hope you do support her vote, and we get some other good commissioners ahead of us in the coming weeks.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak on.
Rowan Van Sleep with Hope the Mission, and speaking directly to the Mayfair Hotel.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Well, first off, I just want to thank
Look
the
at that
district,
face.
city council,
He's
and
so
the mayor, the district, the councilwoman in that district for addressing homelessness there. We actually have a shelter in that district
Sorry, guys.
for families, and we're incredibly supportive of more shelter beds and more services for the people in that district. As the people in our family shelter walk out the front with their kids, as they themselves are addressing their homelessness, they're confronted by the homeless crisis, and we need more beds and more services in that district. And I want to say a special thank you to this city council, this administration, the councilwoman in particular, because without the political support, without the political will and the funding, we are not going to address the homeless crisis. And we're incredibly thankful to be partnered with this project and with the city.
Yeah, he's just decided to come up on here.
Thank you very much. As our next speaker is coming
Stand
up,
on my
I'm gonna call a few
trackpad.
more names. Again, Julian Nicholas, Alicia Vasquez, Hillary Storm, Bill
Seems
Persluki,
Australian.
I'm sorry. Aurora
Nosy.
Corona, Angat Gada, Janet Morris.
Where's all the real people?
Andrew Morris and Eileen Cohen.
Really? Not
Good
one?
morning.
Good morning,
Not
Speaker.
one
If
person
you
we
could
know?
Please remind us of the name that you signed up under and the items you would like to speak on.
Mr. Fist is back
Item
there.
number 11. Is
Okay.
also
So
public.
you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you. My name is Renato Lira. I am the director for the San Fernando Valley LGBTQ Center in the District 7. We're here today to support the Mayor Chavez for the hotel to be purchased. It's something really important for the LGBTQ students, the youth, and the trans community. It's something that we need a service in that community to make sure those specific, they're not on the streets. We have seen a lot of the trans community has been killed living on the streets, and especially in the District 7.
Yeah, Mr.
and
Herman's there.
District 6.
He's got the
so this will be an
Batman shirt
opportunity
on back.
to have
Oh,
a
come
support
on,
for the
get outta here.
LGBTQ at that hotel. That's why we're here supporting
Sorry,
them
guys.
100%
Get outta here.
to make sure
Over here walking on the track
that hotel can get by.
That
so we
wasn't
can have
me.
Support for the LGBTQ, not only for the San Fernando Valley, for the whole entire community. So that's why we're
That's what happens. He was on the
100%
trackpad, but then he
support of this
stepped on. He
project.
actually stepped on it. Fucking
Thank you.
turns everything off.
Next speaker, please.
Trackpad can control everything like the mouse does. You know what I mean? So I pulled the mouse away so he wouldn't sit on it, and then he started standing on the trackpad, and that's what happened. there. So I apologize,
You would
guys.
like to speak on?
And now he's, I don't know
I'd
where
like
he's
to
at.
speak on all available items for public
There
comment
somewhere.
as well as general.
So the
right,
items that
stinks
are
one,
open for
mean
public
nothing.
Comment are 6 and 13 through 15. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute
I
for
don't see
general
Mr.
public
Spindler
comment.
in there
Please
today.
begin with the items.
Oh, yeah, I do. He's in the
Project
red.
was proposed and
Sitting next to a
funded in a matter
Batman.
of few weeks,
Mr. Herman, look at him in the red
with
shirt,
no
white
notice
hat.
to the community,
Bro,
no
Mr.
environmental
Spindler's
impact
right there. He's
report,
not wearing a mask.
and an actual failed
He's
proof
wearing
of
an In-N-Out
concept
hat, I'm telling you.
should not be built, especially at such a high cost of minimally $83 million. The Mayfair will be a no-barrier housing project that should not be in a stable, low-income neighborhood like Westlake that already supports more than their fair share of homeless housing. Like Project Roomkey, the failed experiment, a low-barrier interim housing project will become a vertical skid row. Services you plan to have available don't have to be used by the residents there. Instead, the neighborhood deserves what you've heard from the neighborhood of owners, renters, students, and small businesses.
I may be Billy, but again, it's
telling you that this
not going to be a
project will
hurricane when it
cause
hits
a
here. It's
dangerous
only going to be a
situation
tropical
in their
storm when it's
neighborhood.
here. So all you're going to see is a
This
little
neighborhood
rain and some
deserves
wind,
stable
maybe some
housing
waves.
for seniors, unhoused college students,
Not
and others.
going to knock anybody's house
and
down or
not
anything like that. Trust
a
me.
Skid Row type vertical apartment.
Everybody's gonna be fine.
Or Mayfair, what you're planning for the Mayfair Hotel. The fact that it's being
So,
rushed
Speaker,
through.
that's going to be your general public comment because item number 11 is not open for public
Get everybody out of the
comment.
LA
Would you
River.
like
Now
to
there
speak
might
to
be
the
some
items?
river rescues in there, absolutely, because they won't get out themselves until it's too late.
Thank you.
The water
Next
starts
speaker,
to
please.
rise. They're in the middle of it, and it's too late to get out now. You know, fucking Spectrum. Come on, man. Yeah, it's definitely
Good
going to
morning.
lose all its punch when it gets here because Mexico's
Hello,
waters
Andrew
are so
Morris.
warm. It's colder
And
here
which
in
of
the
the items
Pacific.
would you like to speak on?
Even though it's warmer than it normally is.
General public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
I know, Todd. I know.
I just don't see why everybody here is so surprised that they're destroying our city because you guys voted for these people.
That's right. I like it.
What do you expect's going to happen if you keep voting for corrupt people like this?
Exactly.
They're going to keep destroying the city.
Exactly.
Where's the mayor? Where is she?
That bitch
I
don't
don't
work.
see her anywhere.
That bitch don't work. She's affirmative action hire. Stop it.
Did she not?
She don't work.
Did she not promise in her campaign to help us with the homeless crisis?
She's not there because she's the best.
So that's not really helping us. It's really not helping us at all when she wants to put 300 homeless people into a neighborhood. I don't know how much she's paying you guys. So why are you guys against? Are you guys against? Are you guys for the Mayfair project? Why would you be for the Mayfair project?
Speaker, your time has expired.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Right? It turned you off, bud. Exactly. I like him. He turned around and told you motherfuckers who were begging.
Good morning, Speaker. If you could
Gave you
please
some real
remind us
shit
of the
there.
name you
They didn't
signed
even
up
see it
under
because they're
and the
too
items
of
you
low
would like to speak
IQ.
on.
It went right over their heads.
Speak on the general.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
Okay, my name is Eileen Cohen.
Hi,
If
Eileen.
the acquisition of the Mayfair goes through, it will have been done without hearing from the voice of the community at all. I learned of this project less than 3 weeks ago from the LA Times. There has been no community outreach from the mayor or Ms. Hernandez.
Sounds about right.
This is a massive purchase, not a lease. Project Roomkey caused over $11.5 million in damage in less than 2 years that the city has now paid for. Have the owners of the Mayfair, who will be getting about $20 million over market price, be putting that money back into the Mayfair? The mayor's office only has a commitment with the Weingart Center for 2 years. So what will happen after that if the city does not have the money for another Weingart contract? The 7th Street community will once again suffer. The purchase needs to be thought through.
Fear, anybody can call in. There's no background checks.
Thank you.
Calamity
Next
Girl
speaker,
said she had a
please.
problem because of her area code or something, or phone number, but I'm not sure.
Good morning. If you could
I think
please
they're just
remind us of the
they're
name
just
you
trying to
signed up
cut
under
anybody
and
off,
the
not
items you would
her
like to speak on.
specifically. You know,
Yes, good
it's just
afternoon.
anybody
Good
in
af-
general.
morning.
That's more
Good
than
morning,
3 people or
everyone.
4
My
people.
name is
That's all they
Aurora
want to hear.
Corona, and
4
I'm with the
people,
Pico
5
Union
people,
Neighborhood
done.
Council. I also want to put into the record.
They're not taking
we did
22
file a
calls if
community
22
impact
callers call
statement
in.
On
You know what I
item
mean?
11, the Mayfair
They're not doing
purchase. However, we had technical difficulties last night
Yeah,
with
see,
the
she says
portal,
area
so I'm
code
not sure
issues.
if the council members have received it. So I just wanted to enter into the record.
Thank you.
You think storms will trigger looters? I don't think so.
Our
I mean,
main
the
concern
shell
is
it's
with
not
our
a big enough
neighbors in
storm.
Westlake,
Trust. It
and
isn't.
we border the district. And
I know the
also
news.
frequent this area, and I firsthand noticed the failure with Project Room Key. Our neighborhood council opposes the Mayfair purchase without stricter amendments that have already been made. I want to thank our council member, Eunice Hernandez, for adding the amendments on yesterday's committee meeting, or I believe it was on Wednesday. So we want to thank her for starting and actually working with the community and adding the conditions that serve to protect the community and open the line of communication for the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Laguna, she's still at home where she's been since she started. She hasn't done anything in her 7, 8, 10
speakers.
months
You
of
could please remind us of the name
being
you
here.
signed up under and the
Yes.
items you would like to speak on?
Nothing.
Angad Gada,
Nothing.
Item number 11. And
0.
general public comment, please.
Okay, so item number 11 is not open for public comment, but you
Except for
can
dog
speak
and
to it
pony
during general
shows.
public comment.
Shows up
You
for
have 1 minute.
pictures.
Okay, thank you. I'm a business owner, former resident, and father. My business next to the Mayfair and was affected by Project Roomkey. Those were the 2 most dangerous years I've ever experienced in the 25 years that I've been in Westlake. The Weingart Center has shown our community that they are not capable of managing this property. The purchase of the Mayfair will affect the livelihoods of members of our community that do not have the luxury to move. I'm asking the council to vote no on this purchase and allocate the $80 million to other options for permanent housing. Throughout this process, the community was never informed. If you vote yes, you must implement a 4118 for the area around the Mayfair. We must have a robust community advisory board and expect every promise in the amendment that was filed on Wednesday to be fulfilled. As currently worded, there is no security protection outside of the Mayfair and at the entrance. We need security at the Mayfair and for the properties located directly next to the Mayfair. Please vote no on this. It's not good for our community at all. Thank you.
$80 million project. 80.
Thank
80.
you. As our next speaker
$80 million.
forward, I'm going to call a few more names.
Then they're going
Nami
to tell you how
O,
awesome they are
Jeremy Shore,
for spending your money
Jean-Michel
for you.
Ormond, Neri Larios, and Evelyn Da Costa.
Bro, where the fuck is Spindler? Where's Herman?
Could please remind
Come
us
on
of the
now.
name you
Stop
signed
it
up under
already.
And the items you would like to speak on?
Raul Claros, item 11, and public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general
Come
public
on.
comment because item number 11.
Where's
is
all the
open
homies?
for public comment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Council President and Council members, for the space and time. I proudly serve as the chair of the Affordable Housing Commission for the City of LA. I also am the proud CEO and executive
Herman.
director of the El Salvador Corridor Association that
Flicking
represents
them
over 126 street vendors, 80 brick and mortar business owners in the Pico Union area. Most of our members of our association live in Pico Union and in Westlake. We're here to support the Mayfair project and Mayor Karen Bass with
Watch 'em.
the amendments, though,
Watch
from
'em.
Council District 1 and our council member Eunice Hernandez, who we want to thank for that local grassroots approach to making sure that we can find a solution together. We want to keep everybody safe, and we believe in Inside Safe. We believe in the project, but we also believe in making sure that inclusion at a local level is part of that process. Thank
I
you.
do see Stacy, Bob. He's back there. I mean, she's
Thank
back
you.
there, sorry.
Next speaker, please.
She's back there. Her husband's there, too. Or her boyfriend, the guy with the fist. He's there, too. Mr. Herman's there. Mr. Spindler's there. I don't see Mr. Sachs or Mr. Harlan. It's the only ones I don't
Remind
see.
us of the name you signed up under and
Or the
items
baby
you would like
guy.
to speak on?
Guy that
My
comes
name
with the
is
baby.
Nami O, and I would like to speak about the Mayfair Hotel.
Okay, so you have one.
Yeah, I don't
minute for
know,
general public comment.
Sam, where the booger lady's at. She must have got a house.
I'm opposed to this purchase.
They gave her a
I
place.
have been on that block my entire life. My family has owned business there, and now I own a business there. I was in the neighborhood when Project Room Key was in effect, and it was very scary. It was horrible. Turned the block into a nightmare. Us business owners had to go around carrying weapons to protect ourselves. When we would call the cops, they won't come. They tell me that I should get a permit to get a firearm. I don't see how this is going to work. I'm also a conservator someone who's mentally ill. I've been doing it for 28 years. I don't think purchasing a hotel and putting people in there is going to work. There needs to be an effective way. And I don't think putting everyone in a hotel on that block where it's all families and small businesses is the right idea. Thank you.
That's right. Remember, though, ma'am, those are your poor little houseless neighbors. They're not the mentally deranged drug addict.
Good morning, Speaker. If you could
You know,
please remind us of the name you
that
signed
you
up
made
on
them out
and
to
the
be.
items you would like to speak on.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Hi, I'm going to make a general comment. My name is Jean-Michel Armand. I live across the street from where the Mayfair is. 6 years ago, I was a homeless veteran. So, even though I'm opposing this acquisition, I'm not a racist and I'm not against homelessness. I'm a person of mixed race. I care about my community. I care about the over 200 seniors that live in my building across the street from the Mayfair. We were impacted during Project Home Key when we could not use any of the bus stops around our neighborhood.
Look at Mr. Spindler.
Because people that were from the Mayfair house there were on our bus benches drinking, smoking. They were doing drugs. They were selling cigarettes and harassing the women. And then we had school kids, 2 schools there, elementary schools that are in the neighborhood.
Thank you, sir.
We don't care about the elementary school kids. We don't
I'm
care
gonna call
about the
a few more names
seniors.
as the next speaker's coming
Thank
forward.
you. Thank you.
David
We don't care about
Prentice,
any of you.
Josie Hudson, Evelyn DaCosta.
That guy was so right.
and
Why do
Elaine
you turned
Owens.
around to tell them? Why the fuck do you vote for any of you idiots? Why do you vote for these idiots? You are the idiots.
Good morning. My name
Wake
is
'em up.
Jeremy Shore. I'm making a general comment regarding the Mayfair. These funds would be better used for permanent supportive housing at this location, or affordable housing or senior housing. In 2019, the number of LAPD calls at this location was 40. That's before Project Room Key. In 2020, Project Room Key started, and there were 166 LAPD calls made from this location. In 2021, during the peak of Project Room Key, there were 426 LAPD calls from this location.
One every other day.
2022, we had 134 because it was winding down, and from this year, there's been 9. So clearly, there's a correlation between safety in the area, Project Room Key, interim housing, and the city is making promises that this will be different, but the community does not believe it. So let's just make this permanent housing, or just normal affordable housing, or just operate it as a hotel. Thank you.
I mean, damn near one call
Thank you.
every
Next
other
speaker,
day.
please.
Every other day, there's a call to that specific address. Thanks to your houseless neighbor. How many times did they not call when shit was going
Good
on?
morning, Evelyn DaCosta for item 11.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment.
All right. So I'm here to urge the council once again to consider the realistic feasibility of this project financially and as far as the services and security that can actually be effective in a 300 unit building, as well as to determine who's going to be holding the Weingart Group accountable for upholding the duties of their contract.
Yes,
and then I
James.
would also like to point out that any member of the council that's voting yes on this matter that has not actually been to the location of the Mayfair and seen the surrounding community is basically making a decision without even knowing what it looks what it looks like, how massive the structure is, what the surrounding community
That's
that would
not
be
Mr. Herman,
affected,
Freddie.
what actually looks like.
That's Mr.
So
Spindler.
I just want to keep that in mind, that if you have not been there, it's kind of unethical to vote yes if you don't actually know what is going on and what it looks like. Yeah, consider the community, please. This money could be better spent. Thank you.
Have a good one, Alan.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Next speaker,
Mr.
please.
Herman is the one in the Batman shirt, and Mr. Spindler is the one in the red over there that looks like the Swedish chef.
Good morning. My
I guess.
name is Neri Larios, and I'm talking about item 11.
Okay, you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay, the people that's voting yes on here do not live on Pico on Wesley, and I don't approve this because the mayor didn't do outreach to the community and didn't let us know about this project. And I would like to the mayor to
Jackie.
approve
We got one.
what Onises Hernandez say about a Monday, the 7th item. Thank you.
I don't know,
you.
Jeff. They're
Next
pretty
speaker,
used to
please.
him. I think it's to the point where they don't even listen. They're on their phone checking email and shit. And is this time up? As soon as the ding goes off, all right, you're out of here. We're done. They're not even paying attention to him at this point. They don't engage him much.
Good morning.
I mean, they
Could
got
you
in
please
2
remind us of
lawsuits
the
with
name
him.
that you signed up under and the items
Oh.
you would like to speak on.
Yes, David Prentice under item 11.
Okay, you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you. So my name is David Prentice. I am the current CEO of the Midnight Mission in downtown Los Angeles.
You too,
we
Panda.
are on the corner of 6th and San
Thank
Pedro, right in the middle of our crisis. And I'm here to advocate for the Mayfair project.
The
I want
Mayflower.
to bring the human issue into this. When I look out of my office window down onto Skid Row. What I'm seeing are people that I can't help because all my shelter beds are full and there's nowhere to progress the next step. I understand the arguments, permanent versus interim. I get all that, but the bottom line is the Midnight Mission and myself as a person, the Midnight Mission is an organization. We're going to advocate for anything to be built to get the unhoused off of the street and into a safe and clean environment. It's human life we're talking about here, and I would hope you would take that into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I
Thank
guarantee
you.
I'll drive around.
Next
I don't know
speaker,
what his offices are as he looks
Good
down
morning.
on Skid Row.
Good morning. My
He-
name is Rabbi Josie Hudson.
he must be 4
I
blocks
am the
away
lead on
looking
clergy
down.
and formation at LA Voice and a resident of CD4. I am here to speak today in strong support of the hotel project. We believe that housing is a human right. We believe that home is sacred. We believe that every human being deserves to live with a roof over their head. We believe the city can help us to achieve this and indeed has a moral responsibility to do so. We speak today, and I speak today, in full support of this project.
Thank you. As our next speaker's coming forward, I'm going to call a few more names. Johnny G.
Oh, yes.
Kay Hartman, Jonathan Ross, Julia Nicholas,
Mr. Spindler.
and Elaine Alanis, please.
We at least get Johnny G up in this
My name is
joint.
Elena Alanis. Did I say
Oh,
it?
perfect.
Nobody starts
Can I ask
talking
the
about
attorney a quick
street lights
question
and
before
walking
I'm
into
not
them
gonna
again.
Talk. I just want to ask him on Wednesday. There were amendments that were made, and the public was not allowed to comment on those. Is there any way to get additional time for that? The city
So-
attorney that was here did say that it was.
I can't respond to that, but you have. So which of the items would you like to speak on
Oh,
today?
today, Mayfair purchase, please.
So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Elena Alanis. I'm the president for the Westlake North Neighborhood Council. I've been here through the duration of this process, and I've heard the Weingard speak, and I don't know any bank on the planet that would give a personal business loan to a business that doesn't have a plan. They don't have a plan. The majority of the people that are going to move in are not going to serve Westlake, nor the tents that are currently there. I hear racism, but the people that are saying that don't live here and obviously don't know the color of the skin of those that reside. I don't think that many of you have heard the unethical practices that there will not be funding in the future for the services here. How can you hear what they're saying, unethical things, and still vote on items like this? It blows my mind that it will be all for Skid Row, nothing for Westlake North. There were amendments made, but that had nothing to do to help our community. There was nothing to reduce the debt of the description that was currently made. the city should not, or the taxpayer should not have to pay the 11.5 that should be reduced from what is currently being proposed for the project. There is nothing for public safety. Our public safety has no idea this is about to happen, so it is very unethical what's going on. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Everything they do is unethical. Listen to the guy in the blue three speakers ago. Why the fuck do you vote for him?
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the items you would like to speak on.
Johnny G, general comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
No suit?
Good morning, council members. The summer of 2023 is coming to a close. The doors of the public and private schools are reopening. And this is the time to educate kids and adults in an ethical way so we can build a better world for all. Let's see if the teachers can prepare the young to live accordingly as law-abiding citizens. Let's not forget the sacrifice of the parents who worry for the welfare and future of their children. They spent countless hours trying to bring love and comfort in a cold, calculating world. Family members, neighbors, and friends need to love. And isn't love is what it's all about?
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
What a fucking moron, bro. Bro. Can't even read his own little 1 minute speech on his paper. A 3-year-old. And he's a councilman, I think,
My
in
name is
Canoga Park.
Jonathan Ross.
Part of the city
I'm
council
the
in
president of
Canoga
Stop
Park.
Midvale Pico Inc.
Bad eyes.
And I'm speaking to make general comments, not against any one group, but to speak against all of the city's
Makes me feel
wasteful,
smart.
disastrous, and counterproductive homeless housing policies and initiatives, including the Mayfair Hotel and Midvale Pico, policies that harm small businesses and destroy neighborhoods. And I'm here to stand shoulder to shoulder with all of the neighborhoods that have already fallen victim or will soon fall victim to these policies. And most importantly, to speak against and oppose the absolutely un-American way in which these policies are being put into motion. The voters of this city are enraged and outraged at the poorly thought out and self-defeating way that the city is promulgating its homeless policies, and our eyes are on each and every council member in this regard. We are strong, we are determined, we are united, and we will not back down. Our organization will utilize every legal means available to oppose any council member who supports these disastrous projects.
Okay, thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Where's Mr. Spindler? I mean, I see him, but when's he coming up? When's Mr. Herman coming up? Come on. I know they signed up.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name that you signed up under and the items you would like to speak on.
Hi, yes, my name is Kay Hartman, and I'm speaking on item 13.
The Mayfair
so you have
Hotel.
1 minute for the item.
Let me guess.
Thank you. Yes, I am the president of the Palms Neighborhood Council. I am speaking for myself. I can't think of a better choice for the Ethics Commission than Jamie York. Ms. York is as passionate about ethics as anybody I know. She has raised the consciousness of neighborhood council members where ethics are concerned. She single-handedly convinced about 40 neighborhood councils to write CISs in support of Council File 22-0560 about the MLO updates. When was the last time you saw 40 NCs weigh in on a council file? It doesn't happen, but Ms. York made it happen. All for the betterment of the city and not for herself. When I get stuck trying to chase down potential ethics violation, Ms. York points me to the best place to continue my investigation. I look to her for this kind of advice because she has the knowledge to provide it. Knowledge, passion, drive. She is what we need. Please confirm her appointment. Thank you.
He lost his hat.
Thank you.
It's going so wild
Our
back there
next
with
speaker's
Mr.
coming
Herman
up.
across
I'm
the
gonna
way.
call out
Those
two
two are
more
friends.
names.
They love each other.
Candido, Mike Greenspan, Anthony Garcia,
Mr.
Dr. Critical Truth Bay,
Critical.
and Glenn Foundation Sarah.
So hold on. Now it's Dr. Critical Truth Bay. Before it was Dr. Truth Bay. Now it's Dr. Critical Truth Bay.
Come on up, Candido. Thank you.
Oh, man, her name just keeps morphing.
Good morning. Which of the items would you like to speak
I'm
on?
Damon
Yes,
Smoking
I'd like
Scan
to
Heller
speak
today.
on 13,
It'll be something
13,
different.
14, 15,
50
and
guns?
public comment.
That's 50
So you have
guns.
3 minutes for the items and
Didn't
1 minute for
recognize
general
him.
public comment.
Let
Please
me just
begin with the
introduce myself, Candido Chicano Cowboy Maris, and file 20-1575, which has to do with the rodeo, please. Let's bury that. Item 13, if I may, that is the appointment of Jamie York. There is no one that I've met or seen in the past 10 years who equals her integrity. This woman is unbelievable, and I hope that you folks can put up with her because she's going to challenge you. And so I hope that you guys are unanimous in her approval. Item 14, that has to do with reinstating a reward for murder. You know, some people back here who are my friends will say I'm a snitch, but you know what? I will snitch if I can bring peace to a family who has lost a member. I had to do it myself. It was hard, but you have to stand by the law. If we have no law, we have no order. So again, my friends back there, if you think I'm a snitch or anybody's a snitch because they do the right thing with rewards, I'm sorry we differ on that. The item 15, the abatement, the weed abatement. I'm still on 15, correct, sir? Don't take away my
Yes.
public time. All right. 15 is the weed abatement. Here again, you got folks are talking about an adjustments.
Hi, Shake.
You know what? Reseda Boulevard. Let's use that weed abatement to get rid of some of the stuff that you guys have created, or let's say the previous council, in regards to what's going on there with the trash, et cetera, the crime, et cetera. So if you can adjust weed abatement and brush abatement, you can also change other things like the parking situation that you guys have destroyed on Reseda Boulevard. May I go on to public comment?
Yes, public comment.
Thank you.
General public comment.
Wonderful day today. We had Black Business Day today, right? And as I stood here and I watched these wonderful people here who have worked hard for their businesses, I asked myself, do they have to worry about 20 people coming into the stores and robbing them? Do they have to worry about their customers being dragged by the purse because somebody wants their purse? I don't think so. You know, I was at the Gladys Knight performance Wednesday at the Hollywood Bowl, and I looked around and we're 60, 70, 80-year-old people, and I looked and I said, my God, we are the ones that went through the racism and all the nonsense of the 50s, 60s, and even in the 70s, and it continues today. And I said, why can't we just do this? Why can't we just love each other and care about each other? And I thought, these are the people who have suffered. And yet, when I see Canoga Park and the mall there being taken over by 20 people, if they were Latinos or Chicanos, well, they would have said, 20 Mexicans and Latinos just went through Canoga Park. But they didn't. Everybody could identify who it was, but nobody will. Because if you don't stand for law and order, you stand.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right,
All
I'm going to call a
50
few
guns.
more speakers. Thank you, Candido. Your time's expired. Thank you. I'm going to call Daniel Gus,
Daniel
Monica
Gus, stop.
Bellucci, Stacy Cigar Bollinger, and Dana Cohn, please.
All right, so we get Daniel Stubbs, Substack.com
Good
coming
morning.
up.
Which of the items would you like to speak on?
All available items.
Critical
in public
Truth Bay.
comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general
Critical
public comment.
Truth Bay.
The items that are open for public comment are 6, 13, 14, and 15.
Okay, first and foremost, let's start with 14. The founding for
I don't know, Laser.
monetary value for the unsolved mystery.
Try
of
refreshing.
Tiana
Maybe
Theus.
refresh the page. Come right back and try it. I
Back
don't know.
in January
Should still work.
2021, 16-year-old Tiani was murdered, shot in the neck, and thrown off the overpass on Manchester and Figueroa. Barely did we have city council there. At that moment, her father saw her the day before where she said she was going to a party. So we have a high rate of sex trafficking alongside Figueroa.
No.
As we know, District 8,
No.
District 9. It's a normal thing to see young ladies paraded in scandalous clothing
No
year in and year out. And all they do, 77 Division, is give them a ticket. no offerings of help or alternatives because, again, they're black girls. But what's even more alarming is
There are
that
all kinds of girls,
last
lady.
year
Come on
you
now, let's
had
be
an
honest.
award of $115,000.
There's Latina girls. There's white girls.
65,000.
I don't see any Asians out there.
From LA City.
But everybody but that.
I believe 10,000 from LA County and 50,000 from California Highway Patrol. Now you reduce it to $50,000 for her murder. $65,000 you removed from a 16-year-old girl whose family he didn't have much because you guys are playing politics and gatekeeper. You're talking shit about the people who want to make a change because we're not part of the club. So when you reduce the award for a murder of a 16-year-old black girl, but you keep saying that black women are highest rate of this, or black girls or black boys are higher rate of that in your data plan, but you don't show it with the funding that you waste year in and year out, is hypocritical. So remove this reward altogether. This family doesn't need your crumbs. They need you to be right with God. They need you to be honest and fair. They need you to stop misappropriating our taxes year in and year out. This is particularly to the fraternities and sororities and the boule and all these people that want to keep having black face but don't do nothing for the black community. So please do not insult
Smoking
the
a
Diaz
joint.
family with a $50,000 reward that was $115,000 last year. We all know the homeless crisis. You had the wine guard that was at Project Roomkey, and they allowed drugs going on everywhere. They had the security guards stealing, robbing, raping some of the clients in there. Now you want to have the same wine guard center to do permanent housing there at the Mayfair. Give me a break already. This is absolutely egregious how we
General
continue
public comment.
to utilize our taxes for your own piggy bank. So Karen Bass, Community Coalition in South LA, got a lot of funding. So I'm asking for the next elections that you politicians don't have nonprofits of your own. It's a conflict of interest. You fund yourselves and then you fund the crumbs to your constituents, and it's not fair. It's not fair at all. So I affirm that I will support and defend the most vulnerable constituents and wield off against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear faith and allegiance to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As a descendant of slaves, I will take the obligation to help all people first and foremost, and I will discharge these duties November 3rd, 2026. So you got 2.5 years to get your shit together. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Yeah, they won't be getting their shit together anytime soon. Not in 2.5 years, not 2.5 days,
Good
or
morning.
2.5
Which
weeks.
of the items would you
Oh,
like
here
to
we
speak
go.
on?
Let's get a song going.
13, 14, 15, and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public
Stink
comment.
Loaf is sleeping.
Thank you. Item 13 is a commission appointment. It's rare that I actually am excited to see a name on these commission appointments. They're typically nepotism and networking picks for y'all, but Kenneth Mejia did a good thing by nominating Jamie York to the Ethics Commission. She has displayed just a very passionate commitment to something that this council is terrible at, which is ethics, integrity, honesty, abiding by rules, knowing what the rules are. And like other speakers have mentioned, she's exceptionally helpful when you reach out to her. If you need help with anything, understanding as far as how the city works, she's great, and she's been wonderful in her service on the Reseda Neighborhood Council. So I hope, despite my endorsement, all of you will vote yes on her appointment. Number 14
They have to start doing
is
ums
a
on her too,
reward for snitches. My biggest concern with these is just that the LAPD is already the best funded organization we have in the city. Their budget exceeds most of the other city budgets combined. I don't know why If they feel like they need help to do their jobs from ordinary citizens, they can't cover that themselves out of their own budget. It just doesn't really seem to make sense to take it out of the city's budget when the city is continuously just funneling money to the LAPD as it is. So if they want to pay a snitch to help them, they should have to do it themselves. 15 is regarding modernizing and updating the annual weed and brush abatement process. This is definitely something that's important as far as making sure the weeds and brush aren't creating a fire hazard or an accessibility hazard. I'm just a little bit confused at what modernizing means. To the best of my knowledge, one of the most efficient forms of weed abatement is using goats to eat the weeds and the brush. And that's not really a modern solution whatsoever. Maybe we should be looking into existing systems that are known to work well. Oftentimes when we're looking at modernizing things, we're looking at lining the pockets of our donors with new contracts and equipment and things. And I don't know why this particular issue requires modernization when weed abatement is like a pretty old system. Like I said, goats are like pretty undefeated as far as being effective, environmentally sound, and you're killing two birds with one stone. You're feeding the goats and you're getting rid of the brush. So why don't we just stick with that? Goats on item 15. Thank you. I'll move on to general now. It has been heartbreaking to watch the reputation of our city government suffer continued disgrace because of Kevin's racist rhetoric. His continued presence here is sick. It's causing severe and ongoing harm.
Are you gonna do Whitney, girl?
We want a resignation. Kevin De Leon's resignation. We need a resignation. A resignation from Kevin. Don't you think it's time Kevin resign? 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 Time to resign. We need a resignation from Kevin.
What are you talking about, Yuki? That's a 12-time Grammy Award winner.
Next speaker, please.
12 of them. She can't even hold them all up. She's like Michael Jackson. It's her husband or her boyfriend.
I heard earlier that there was one before item 14 or whatever. Could you just tell me the items that are available, please?
The items that are open for public comment are 6 and 13 through 15.
6, 13 through 15. All right, so all available items and general public comment, please.
Bro, how do you pick Whitney when you can't sing?
1 minute for general
Can you start my time
comment.
over, please?
Please begin with the items first.
Sweet, thank you. Item number 6 is to establish a citywide skate park advisory group to look at San Pedro Skate Park Association's successful collaboration relating to building whatever. It's already successful. I don't know why we need to throw money at a report.
No kidding.
There's no fiscal impact statement. There's no listing of how much it's going to cost. We already know the skateboard works. If you see kids skating and they only fall when they want to, and when they don't want to, they don't eat it that bad, the skateboard's doing pretty well, skate park. So we don't think we need a report on that. And if we do, show us how much it's going to cost.
Right. No, because it'll be a report to find out how much the report is.
Item 14. I think it's really funny that we have a motion from Councilman Price. I don't have anything against him personally. I don't think what he did as far as taking money to help somebody with medical bills was as bad as some of y'all taking money to line the pockets of people that are living fine already. If we had a universal health care, he wouldn't need to embezzle money to get his second wife's feet fixed. Whatever it was. A man's supposed to take care of his family anyway. If he got 2 families, he got to take care of them. So current price, that part, not that bad, to be honest. I'm a reasonable guy. But Harris Dawson, him having a motion is a lot more egregious to me. Because even though he doesn't have any federal charges, he gave away public land to the Marriott in the middle of a housing crisis. So while current price might have some federal charges, I don't hold him against for taking care of his second family, because that's what a man's supposed to do. But, some people walking around, putting motions forward, no federal charges, explicitly being corrupt with their back to the public, giving away public land to the Marriott Hotel, trying to act like he's so pro solving the murder of a person. Anybody could throw their name on a motion and be like, oh yeah, I hope they find the guy that killed her. What the hell? I don't see him out there.
It's true. It's true.
Item 15.
Like him or not, he's spitting
weed
fact.
abatement. I mean, you know, there's some parts that need weed cutting. I don't think that process needs to be modernized. I think using the motorized like tools is pretty modern already. There's no there's nothing here about what that's gonna cost. So that's pretty silly. We need to know when you have people dying on the street and falling asleep in the weeds, you should know how much it's gonna cost to update the process to cut the weeds. You could just send a motherfucker down there to cut that shit, but instead you gotta put together a report to be like, how can we solar powered cut the weeds? Like, fuck off, go get a pair of shears and go cut them yourself. 20 seconds. I think item 13 might have been available. That's Jamie York. I've met her. She has a lot of integrity, so it seems, you know, she's very nice, and she's very aware of the corruption going on in the city. So at the very least, she's going to take care of it in some regard. 1 minute for general public comment.
General public comment.
So you guys only care about business owners. If the city council cared about black and brown people, then why won't they freeze the rents on their homes and businesses? Why won't they reverse the redistricting process where we all heard, I look around and I look at my neighborhood and I see all these little brown people and I don't recognize it anymore, or whatever the fuck Neri said about the Wyakins. So if we care so much about brown people, why do we not reverse that redistricting process and get the lines back how they were before that happened? If we care so much about black people, why don't we bring back the South Central Farm and green spaces and all that nonsense about food and the community? And if they care so much about the people and the public, then why the fuck won't they listen? And why do they sit there eating while the rest of us starve out here? And if they care so much about Jews, then why do they support the nation of Israel while they're water cannoning and putting horse cavalry over Jewish people, protesting their judicial quote-unquote reforms? You care so much about anti-Semitism, yet you made a motion that made criticizing the nation of Israel anti-Semitic and a hate crime. Meanwhile, they're water cannoning Jews
Thank you. I'm going to call a few more names. Maura Chen, Mike York, Michelle Gallagher,
Come on,
Renato Ira,
Spindler Herman, Spindler Herman, Spindler Herman, Spindler Herman, Spindler Herman.
and Julia Nicholas, please.
Man, there's 97 people today in there. They're really going to go through all of them, I guess. I'm
Please
glad.
remind us of the name that you signed
They
up
owe
under and
us.
the items you would like to speak on.
Good afternoon. My name is Dana Cohn, and in the interest of transparency, I've personal ties to Councilmember Park, Rahman, Rodriguez, Yaroslavsky,
Of course you have
Blumenfeld,
ties to
and
them.
your
So you're a
Senate
shill.
President Krikorin.
So you're a fucking shill.
And
Go,
I'm on,
go ahead.
I'm speaking
Hurry
on
up.
items 1 and 13.
So item number 1 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So we have 1 minute for item 13 and 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you, sir. I'm here to support Jamie York to the City Ethics Commission. I previously worked with her on a state Senate
Jews are
campaign,
2% of the population
and
of the earth,
objectivity and respect she had
Well, there's a
both
whole
for
lot of 'em.
voters and elected officials
2.
and other stakeholders was stupendous. She was kind, methodical, not only confident, but patient. This is a woman that knows how to work within the system and with those that are uncomfortable with the system. The public's involvement in local politics, not only in Los Angeles, but nationwide, is at its lowest in a long time, if not ever. That's because politicians and city employees alike are not being held accountable to ethics, administrative, and criminal violations. Mrs. York is all about transparency and holding parties accountable, so sometimes too much so, if I might say so. With that said, despite not being an attorney, her objectivity
General
in
public
analyzing complicated issues with numerous viewpoints is superb and will benefit the city. Thank you for your time, and I point to my written comment on file with the city clerk.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good
Can you
morning.
prove
If
that
could
stat,
please remind
clown?
us
Of
the
course
name
you
signed
can.
up under and the items
Show
you
me
would like
that
to speak
stat
on.
for real.
Maura Chen, item
About what you're
11.
saying about the media.
Okay. So item 11
And again,
is
they
not open for public comment. But
they
you can
started
speak
a
to
lot
it
of the
during
media,
general. So you have 1 minute.
the movie corporations.
Good
You
morning,
could have
my
started
name is
your
Maura
own
Chen,
too,
and I'm an
but you don't do
architectural
shit
designer
with your
LA
life.
Voice. I work on affordable housing on sites across LA County, and I'm a resident of CD1.
LA Voice is a multiracial, multi-faith
Nobody
organization
stopped you from
that
doing
develops
it.
community leadership to advocate for the most pressing needs and improve life for all.
I haven't,
Angelenos.
wise guy.
Housing remains a primary concern among a diversity of residents. We support the project because incorporating ownership of permanent interim supportive housing is crucial to move towards ending homelessness, lowering the per-night cost of a bed relative to the current leasing model. The wraparound supportive services proposed for this project aim to ensure the well-being of surrounding residents because everyone benefits when individuals are safely housed. I want to specifically thank Unisys for the amendments. Thank you.
Don't even know how to spell
you.
Holocaust. Jesus Christ. Go back to school, dude.
Next speaker, followed by Spindler
Motherfucker.
and Herman.
God damn. When you're just
Next,
completely illiterate
I
and
pulled
fucking
all of the
stupid
names
and try to speak on things
Go
that
right
you know
ahead.
nothing about. This shit's hysterical, dude. Thanks for telling on yourself.
Please remind us of the name that you signed up under and the items you would like
what?
to speak on.
Hire you to
Hello, my
fold
name
napkins
is Michelle
at my
Gallagher,
restaurant or
and
something.
I would like to speak on items number 13 and general public comment. And first, I have a
Again, show me that stat.
CIS from the Reseda Neighborhood Council on item number 13 to read to you. Please tell me when I may commence.
Please begin with the items. 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment.
Okay, so I can get this all in. So the Reseda Neighborhood Council passed the following CIS regarding item number 13, and I wrote the draft on this.
It's coming up,
And if
hopefully.
everyone could just please keep it a little bit down. Whereas in the course of her service on the Reseda Neighborhood Council, Jamie York has vigorously advocated for respectful treatment of all stakeholders, whereas Jamie York has provided unparalleled leadership in the effort to make sure lobbyist requirements apply to neighborhood councils, ensuring a transparent environment within which neighborhood council representatives all over the city will be able to serve, whereas she has worked tirelessly for the RNC, whereas we are certain that Jamie York will provide the same tireless work ethic to all her endeavors, lamenting that the Reseda Neighborhood Council will no longer directly benefit from her shining example, recognizing nonetheless that the entire city of Los Angeles will benefit from her commitment. The RNC recommends the appointment of Jamie York
General public comment?
and general public comment to the City Ethics Commission forthwith. So now, thank you everyone for not talking. I really appreciate that. Jamie, in my experience, I've been working with her for several years. She's competent, but not only that, she's relentless. She's frustratingly fair. She's a detective with an eagle eye for abnormalities. And she works so hard. Sometimes I've estimated the equivalent of 40 to 80 hours a week for the RNC, the NC system in general, and for the city of Los Angeles for no compensation whatsoever. She's a force of nature, a heroine, and I'm just so grateful to be here for her to hopefully be appointed to the Ethics Commission. Everyone's going to benefit. Thank you.
All right, let's see who's coming up. Let's see who's coming up. Here we go. I love it. Let's
Good morning.
go.
Which of the items would you like to speak on?
Well, thank you. And good to see the houseboy again. All items and general public comment.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the
right.
items.
And I'm here to support weed abatement for goats. Let's give it a hand. Yeah. That's right. Get me up here, human. I'm trying. Yes. So what I do is I eat the vegetation, and then I go off and I shit the vegetation out. This saves on feed. This is something that apparently Unisys knows something about. And when you eat less and you eat healthier, as I do, you look as good as I do. You wouldn't know it. I'm 40 years old. I don't even look a day over 3. Because I will eat your vegetation, shit it out, and I will do it only for the cost of a trailer and Mr. Spindler's he needs a small tractor. Yes, we've been working with Kevin on this, a small tractor that will fit on a sidewalk. And why are we doing that, sir? Oh, so I can drive it down the sidewalks and push all the homeless into the street. That's right. Yes, that's another plan we have. And then, of course, we have snitches. Do definitely get stitches. Yes, that's right. A small little fine. Try making it $500,000 there and see how many snitches you get. Well, they'll be lining up here at 8 o'clock in the morning to get that money. Nom, 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 500,000. $50,000 isn't worth it because now it costs a lot of money, Kevin, to buy a fake ID and a passport to leave the country now. That costs at least how much there, sir? Well, about 125. Right, so, you know, you have to have moving money. Yes. And then we get to today's most disturbing news. Yes, Bob Blobbenblield, you have one of your constituents here today. A person with a net worth under $10 million is attempting to get on the Ethics Commission. Yes, I know, Miss Park. I know how upset you are. Yes, Kevin, I know you can't believe it. And if Pat McOsker were here today, he would vomit his food right now at the thought of this. Imagine somebody who is a real constituent, an actual renter, an actual person that lives in a poor, bespeckled neighborhood. A shithole called Reseda is about to become one of the most powerful commissioners. Now, Marchese, are you going to let that happen? Or are you going to put one of your surrogates in there by continuing this item, as I heard rumors this morning? Let's ask. Let me get to the cell phone here. Okay, hold on. Yes, here, we have a message. It says, do anything to block the appointment. Oh, I wonder who sent that. But Good Puppet is here.
General public
and now
comment.
Jamie will get appointed. Yes, and we go in, and Mr. Price, you're invited. Sunday night, we're going to have a candle vigil for the great one, CD10, Marchese's natural-born father, the great Mark Ridley Thomas. Let's give him a hand. All right. As he makes his passage into the next world of federal prison, let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, let this 68-year-old tyrant have his own jail cell. Let this person have an ability to take a shower without other men in it in a shift. Let him not rat out the great Janice Hahn, my mother. Let him not rat out the great Yaroslavsky, so that our current Yaroslavsky doesn't have to spend time with her father-in-law in prison. Let him shut his mouth. And let him go into court and face that trial and appeal it. God bless you, MRT. Thank you.
Mark Ridley Thomas, by the way, another councilman that was indicted federally on is waiting all his shenanigans and going-ons. And that's not current price like the one that was last month. So that's why, again, these people
Good
are
afternoon,
quite
Speaker.
corrupt.
If you could please remind
Not
us of
just
the
one
name
of
you
them,
signed
not
up
just
under
two
and
of
the items
them,
you would
not
like
just
to speak
four
on.
of them that got caught being racist
Jennifer
on a
Goody.
tape. There's
I
6
am
right there.
13 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the item.
All right, I'm speaking on behalf of myself. It would be unfathomable to not confirm Jamie York's appointment to the Ethics Commission, but I still felt strongly enough about it to take the time out of my day to come down here and speak in favor of it. Even though it should be a foregone conclusion, LA would be hard-pressed to find a better candidate for the commission than Ms. York. Her tireless dedication to ethics and unparalleled work ethic have been demonstrated time and time again, as well as her drive to make changes to make ethics and city government more accessible and transparent to Angelinos. She not only advocated for sensible MLO changes to increase transparency, but spent countless hours educating those in the NC system and getting them involved. She's straightforward and always acts in good faith. Honestly, this appointment is a breath of fresh air and does much to restore the faith in Los Angeles city government, being that she is not a connected political appointee, but a regular person with unparalleled knowledge and passion for the topic at hand. I look forward to the good work she will do on behalf of Angelinos. on the Ethics Commission. The NC system's loss is the city's gain. We need more commission appointments like Ms. York, and to move away from the system where those making the decisions are selected based on favors owed.
General
I
public
came
comment?
down today to speak because last week I called in to support Karen Waters, and Baby Fobble didn't take the call in comments, even though he said there were very few. I sat with my hand up for 2 hours listening to presentations and did not get called on. Today, I was skipped as well and had to show a picture of my speaker card to get up here to get my 2 minutes. Council needs to do better when it comes to allowing accessible public input to city government. I would also like to thank Councilmember Hutt for the fun community events that she's been putting on in our neighborhoods. I know it means a lot to our community, especially the children. It may seem frivolous, but it makes a big difference to the kids attending, and they're often heard saying things like, "This never happens here." Please keep up the good work and letting our children know that they matter and can have good things. Thank you, Councilmember Hutt.
I love it. She's crying she's crying to the people she voted for. As they skipped her not once but twice. The ones she voted for. Here we go. Viewer discretion is advised.
Would you like to speak to?
Viewer discretion is advised.
Please.
All items and non-agenda public comment, which entitles me to 4 fucking minutes.
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
So item 13 for the record, Jamie York of Yorktown Ethics Commission, can you do the job? The job that we delegated as the public. We, the fucking people of California, have a right to protest and contest whether or not Jamie's crying. She saw the look in my eyes. She knew he'd forget her, and so they say goodnight.
Jamie's
Oh, Jamie.
Van Halen.
Jamie's crying.
Van Halen.
She knows what the gadfly will do for love. Now, item 14, asshole, that was Van Halen. Now in 14, here is Dawson, Sambo's Uncle Tom. Reaffirm action that Price, are you listening? Price, the unsolved murder of Tioni Diaz, additional 6 months. Where's the fucking money so a snitch can get stitches? That's the problem with California. You allow people to die because you take away my Second Amendment to protect the fucking Americans of California, nigga. NWA, make others understand, fool attorney, MOU for the record, fool. And then I go to 15, nigga. Motion of Ramen Noodle, who's not here.
Ramen Noodle.
And that of Miss Rodriguez. Where's Rodriguez? Where did the fat move?
General public comment.
Yeah. It has to do to restore modernizing weed and brush. The weed that you passed on Measure 64 allowed cannabis to get a permit by that fucking Herb Wesson, Alexis Wesson. Tell those bitches, snitches get stitches. Leave your fucking permits up your ass because the American people don't want to get high. We just want to smoke one for YouTube. That's a big one for you, bro. Get it? Now, again, the sympathy of brush abatement and process is Goats and Kevin DeLion to push this stuff to the side because that's what weed abatement's about. Vote for Kevin DeLion because he got balls. Now my general public comment.
Kevin DeLion.
All I want to do for Kevin.
Speaker, I believe the chair
That's
has
your-
already
that's your
moved you to
time,
general
Mr.
public
Herman.
comment, so your time
Did you
has
notice what they
expired.
did?
That's your time.
They cut his time.
Your time is up. Please leave the podium. If you continue to disrupt, you'll be asked to leave the meeting. We're going to virtual.
Mr. Herman,
We're going to
please leave
virtual
the podium.
comments.
What?
You're
No
going to be-
Spindler? Bro. Hope you saw what just happened right there. As soon as he was talking about the heavy chick, Unisys, his time went from
Mr.
2:54
Herman,
to 1
You
minute.
need to be quiet. We're moving on to the telephones. This
And
is
now,
your
where's
final
Mr.
formal
Spindler,
warning.
who was standing there waiting? You see how they do it?
All right, we'll go to virtual.
You think he watches smoking
First
scam?
caller, which items
He
would you like
may.
to
I
speak
mean, I don't
on?
know. Bullshit. As soon as he said moo.
13, 14, 16, and general public comment.
Hi. I believe you said 13, 14, and 15 in general public comment. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. If you could speak up just a little bit, it would be helpful. Thank you.
Yes. Again, Ms. York, welcome. I hope they do go ahead and appoint you. We need somebody there. Apparently, there's not enough people monitoring city council because of all the indictments and people going to jail. And how
I'll
many
try Spindler
times
talk.
we have
I
to
spoke.
change
Yeah, I
chairs.
forgot. My bad.
So I hope you go by that standard and ethics. So I hope you do get appointed. Let's move forward to
Is
14.
it buffering again? Fuck, sorry.
The 14. Yeah, it should be something out there to turn in these people that are doing the looting. And if there's financial monies there, let's do it. It just shouldn't be for murders. It should be across the board. Get these people to talk. If it's going to be financial, as long as it's a truth and you can prove it, give it to them. You want them to stop? Same way you stopped the carjackings in the 80s, give them real crime time for the real crimes they're doing. Whether they're the getaway drivers, and then we go back to the same thing, yesterday's city council meeting where the mayor's there, or not meeting, but the city mayor without LAPD saying that they're going to be not lenient on these people, and that you go ahead and get a person that's supposed to be doing 6 months in prison for peeping Tom back on the street in 2 days. And then you rearrest them. You can't do that. You're dropping the message. You're going to prosecute them. Let them know. Jail cell is politics. They're going to talk to each other. They're going to stop. That easy. Robert Luna, come on, man. I wish you would have thought the same way when you spoke about those Latina ladies. Oh my gosh, I can just imagine if that was my mom or my grandmother. How about the lady that was accosted in Lancaster and your officer, not once did you say that that officer was going to go to jail. We might have to discipline them. I can't believe what I saw. Talk to the people the way they want to receive you, like you really mean it from the heart. If it's affecting you, it's affecting them. 15, going to the abatement. I hope that that is not for one company, one friend, that is going forward. I hope it goes across the board and people can put bids in to do so, because there's plenty of goat owners out there that with trailers and do that kind of work. I hope it isn't just for one person, not nepotism, not friends or somebody that's being empowered to put that on that board. Yeah, let the goats do the work, but let it be an open process where more than one company gets that work. That would work. Public comment. Again, the Mayfair Hotel, 9120 in District 6, 9120 Woodman. It's 3 times over budget. Still belongs to the city of LA because it's on a lease. Still not open. 1.5 times past the year, calendar year. So when you look at having a retrofit a building, windows, abatement, the cast sewer lines that they had to change out, and it's still not open, do you really want to get involved buying or keeping the hotel? Selling it to them, to Maygard, may be a better solution. At least they'll have to absorb those costs. But I hope you hold them to the same standards that you're doing here on the public design. Make sure that everything's habitable, new, weatherized, and it's going to be there for a long time for the people if they're going to spend the money. I'm just giving you an example. 3 times over budget, You're looking at $1.6 billion after it's all said and done.
General public comment.
That's what he was on, stupid. Fucking
Next
dumb.
speaker.
They don't even understand. Didn't even understand there. And real quick, I'm going to pause it real fast. What that guy doesn't understand is they're never going to go after these people that are flash mobbing and all that. And when they do, they're not going to prosecute them. They're going to go after them for the show. Say, hey, we're cracking down. See, we're catching them. Then they let them right out, like they did to these two that they paraded on the news really quickly and then let them go right away. They're already out of jail. Okay? Now, the reason they don't go after them is because that's their voter base. Those are the kids, their parents, their families. They vote for them.
Next caller, which items would you like to speak on?
Hi, speaking on agenda item 1 in general public comment.
Okay, so item number 1 is not open for public comment, but you can speak to it during general. So we have 1 minute.
The goats
for
are not
general
organic. They must be in California, otherwise we can't use them.
Thank you. Max Sherman speaking on behalf of the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles. To require mold and lead inspections will seriously delay renters being able to move into their units and displace renters that have already moved into their units when such inspections are conducted.
Right, Sam?
Mold exists in all environments, in the air, both inside and outside of units. It lives wherever water exists, including showers, toilets, and sinks. Mold is not a serious health hazard in all but the smallest number of instances, usually due to unique individual sensitivities. LA County Public Health Department states that testing for mold is not generally recommended, as the mold necessary to cause health problems varies greatly from person to person. There are currently no available standards for determining what an acceptable quantity of mold is. Lead paint only creates an issue if and when the paint is not maintained. The EPA states that lead-based paint is still present in millions of homes, normally under layers of newer paint, where it remains without any problem.
Right, Brooke?
We ask that the report back reflect the specific technology that is proposed to be used for mold and lead paint, as well as the time parameters needed for such testing. We also ask that the report back includes information as to inspectors' current workloads, additional time that will be added to conduct such testing, and its
Speaker, your
impact on
time
how
has
many
expired. Speaker, we don't give a fuck. Dang it,
Next
Spectrum,
caller,
I
which
hate
items
you.
would you like to speak on?
Item 13 in general public
I'll
comment.
reset my modem and all
Okay,
that
so
shit.
you have 1
after
minute
the
for
show.
item 13
The
and 1
router,
minute
the
for general
modem,
public
everything.
comment. Please begin with the item.
Good afternoon, City Council. Thank you, Council President, for agendizing this item. Lionel Morris, Sun Valley Area Neighborhood Council. Speaking as an individual, I'm here to support
Ryan.
Jamie Lauren York from the Reseda Neighborhood Council to the City Ethics Commission. Ms. York has been a strong proponent of the neighborhood council system. She's very knowledgeable in ethics and city charter reform. I have witnessed her in person and what she's capable of, and she has the support of the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils. I alone have been rallying the neighborhood councils, encouraging other board members in the Northeast Valley to support her because I believe in her. Ms. York is committed to city ethics, and she's a great addition to the City Ethics Commission. And I urge my colleagues in the City Council, please vote yes for Jamie Lauren York. And I want to thank Jennifer Goody, Mr. Rob Kwan, Andre Gallet, Michelle Gallagher, Candido Mares,
Caller, your time
and
has
everyone
expired.
else.
And everybody else, shout out to everybody.
caller, which
Santa
item would you
Claus,
like to speak
Batman, the Chupacabra.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn. I'd like to speak on the
Eric.
renewable items in the general public comment.
So the items that are open for public comment are 6, 13, 14, and 15. So you have 3 minutes.
Nah,
for the
wise
items
guy, it's
and
pretty
1 minute for general
expensive.
public comment. Please begin with the item.
$600 worth of equipment plus $200 a month or something like that.
Okay. I
Pretty
will.
pricey.
I know Jamie York, and I think she's done a good job as a member of the public advocating for transparency, especially around sneaky lobbyists who are not identifying themselves as lobbyists in front of bodies, but giving chirpy little comments that are really persuasive and sound interesting. It reminds me actually, and maybe Jamie York, who's being proposed by Kenneth Mejia for the Ethics Commission, to look into this activity where you have a series of callers saying that they're from a CD4, I'm a CD4 resident, but they don't say where they live. And then they advocate strongly for a project that everybody who lives near the project hates. And they don't even give their name, but they sound really persuasive. And then there's a company called Marathon, which is a communications company, that gets paid like tens of thousands of dollars, but it doesn't hit the books for what until 6 months later or more because of the disclosure timing. So here we know that they bought, Harvard Westlake bought a bunch of people to call in to help out, to push an agenda that's anti-community. And they're doing it in a really kind of sleazy way. So it's right up her alley. But I don't know, what can one person do? She's a fighter from the public, but remember, she's coming from Mejia's office, which is home to Sergio Perez, who was one of the most arch, sinister, comedic villains at the Ethics Commission in Ethics Commission history. Ethics Commission history, by the way, is a great subject. Paul Krikorian, 1,000,000 years ago, that's what he likes to say as he smiles in front of Heather and David, was actually a commissioner, which is highly impressive. He even got Rob Kwan to tip his hat to the man today. So Paul Krikorian is doing a great job of holding the line. One of the great con men of all time. I admire his work.
That's what I'm watching.
I admire your work too, Mr. Wilson. Regarding modernizing the weed abatement, here's a little reveal. It's not about getting weed whackers or solar trimmers. You're not going to like this, folks in the public. Modernizing means, we're going to have to start charging people a routine fee, not just charging an inspection fee to the people who are out of compliance. That's what they're doing over at County of Los Angeles, where Lindsay Horvath is a leader in nickel and diming, and they're coming after him for $50 year one, $100 year two, and in the third year, everybody with the parcel is going to get $150 who lives in the unincorporated area of the county.
You know me, Catherine.
So that's what modernizing means, which is really too bad because that's not fair. In Africa, we pay a lot, and it should be covered, and we should be safe. Nobody wants to minimize the safety. Africa Business Day was sweet, and I see that you're doing a reward. And whenever I see these rewards, I go, oh, that's interesting. Why in the world are we doing these rewards in cycle and all over the place? And then you look at where it's going, and it's Africa Business Day. It's Danny Bakewell's companies, our weekly
General
Los
public
Angeles
comment?
Sentinel is. Yeah, I'll go to the general in a second. Los Angeles Sentinel and otherwise. So these are little payments that are not so little on a kind of a structural basis, because the idea is it would get them information into a community where you might get a taker. And so Puppet said a few weeks ago, if you offered more money, they'd be lining up at the door. Here's the final point. The city council and the county of Los Angeles are together maneuvering for a private school, and it's not okay. We need to see the contract between the county flood control district, and Nicole Davis Pinkham should know about this, and Jonathan Grote, you're the big boy attorney for the city, or if we'd get David Michelson involved since he's in the email chain. We need to see the documentation because we're not giving away public land to a private Imperious Academy, Mr. Krikorian. We know you got 24 donations from them, max, and you've been working diligently from another district to help them out. It's not going to work, okay? We really need support on clarity and transparency about this particular transaction, because the lungs of our community in Studio City are not open for a big, giant, toxic doormat and an arena next to a fire station.
Caller, your time has expired.
They just dumped him. Caller, you're gone. Laser, are you able to? Was it fixed?
All right, that concludes our public comment for today's meeting.
So now he
is
didn't
available
call
for us
in.
to vote on.
Allison, you
Mr.
thought he'd call in.
President, Council may now vote on items 14 and 15, sir.
Caller, how did
All
my
right,
panties
items
look?
14 and 15 are before us, members. Open the roll on items 14 and 15.
Dicks.
Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
All yeses. See what I mean?
14 ayes.
All right.
All the
What's
time.
next?
So rare there's
Next
a no.
is item 6, and that was amended by Councilmember Padilla and seconded by Councilmember Hernandez.
All right. Do we need to read the amendment into the record?
No, sir. It was read to the record by Councilmember Padilla before public comment, sir.
All right. As that's a friendly amendment, we can open
She
the roll
does
on this
phone
item.
sex, I bet, on the weekends.
Close the roll.
Saturday,
the vote.
Sunday, she'd be doing phone sex on the side.
14 ayes.
Caller,
All right. What's next?
is your dick hard?
Next is item 11, and that was called special by Councilmember Hernandez.
All right.
Caller, I'm not wearing any panties.
Item number 11 is before us.
Can see it.
We'll begin our deliberation of this item with Councilmember Hernandez of the 1st Council District.
Call her, I shaved it. But I left a landing strip.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, I remain very concerned about this project.
I don't know
and
about that
especially around
dress,
the overwhelming
you
feedback
Yeezys.
from my constituents.
I don't know about that.
That there has not
That
been
dress
adequate
wasn't-
opportunity for community
wasn't a good
participation.
choice.
Many of the questions that we have asked and that the public has asked throughout this week still have not
What
been
do you guys
answered
think?
adequately.
All, especially the ladies. Yay or
As
nay
I've
on the
said
dress?
repeatedly throughout this
Let's
week,
fashion copper
Westlake
for a
is
second.
not a community
Yay
that
or nay
rejects
on the dress?
housing or density. It is just the opposite. This is a community that has repeatedly said yes year after year, project after project. Within 5 blocks of the Mayfair, there are 4 permanent supportive housing buildings.
Nope.
There are 14
Three girls
affordable housing
already.
developments serving or plan to serve low-income or formerly homeless individuals there. There are also about 150 unsheltered
one
residents
girl?
living in the
Anybody
same
say
5
yes?
blocks.
Hold on, I need to go back
And my
up.
community is being told that
Not a one yet.
and what my community is
Not
being
one
told is
yet.
that the city has over $80 million to spend on purchasing
Klug, you like
and
it?
renovating a
You
hotel
lying.
in their
You're just
backyard
trolling now.
to provide 300
Look at the
rooms
chat room.
of
You're
interim
trolling.
housing, and yet not a single
Look
one
at
of
the chat
those
room. You're
rooms
trolling.
will be available to the people
Not
who are
one.
living unsheltered
There's
just feet
plenty
away
of girls
from the
in here.
entrance.
Plenty of ladies in here
There's
right
no
now.
clear timeline for the long-term operations of this hotel,
That wasn't
nor
the
is
dress.
clear how the services will be funded upon the expiration of the encampment grant resolution. In committee this week, I introduced an amendment to address the concerns my constituents have uplifted, asking the city to identify the funding and programs to provide the necessary municipal services that will set this program up
Where
for
did her neck
success,
go?
including cleaning and street lighting, support for local businesses, and asking that the mayor's office work with CD1 to bring our unhoused community
A
members
recycled tent.
in the area directly surrounding the Mayfair into housing. And
You guys
this
think I'm a
experience has been
dick.
very clear
You guys
reminder
are dicks, man.
that our boss,
Look at the
my
chat
boss,
room. You guys are
for the
dicks.
district are the community members. However, after hearing today's discussion, I remain concerned, and I'm introducing an additional amendment to this report, which will add instructions to ensure that when the encampment resolution grant expires or funding is expended, beds at the Mayfair will be able to be used to provide housing for unhoused residents in CD1. I believe that we need more interim and permanent supportive housing in Los Angeles, and that every neighborhood in our city, and every district in our city has to play a role in solving our housing and homelessness crisis. And it's
But
one of the
we
reasons
can
why
all
I'm
be that
supporting
way.
this.
God damn you, Spectrum.
I know firsthand just how desperately we need more beds because my district and my unhoused constituents, including those who live in the area surrounding this hotel, are suffering every day from the lack of available units. Literally, we're having to call around to other districts and places to try to find beds because we just don't have them. This debate is not about rejecting
You're making
the housing that we
$200K. Why don't you
desperately
throw
need.
in and buy some
Please be
twin
clear about
beds?
that.
Throw
It's about
$20K
providing
down
our
and get a bunch
communities
of
with the
beds.
resources to truly make projects like this
Get a
one
couple hundred, I
successful
bet.
and digestible. It's about bringing a care-first approach and equipping our interim housing projects with the funding, programs, and services they need to actually serve their future clients with dignity. It's about ensuring that there are true pathways to permanent supportive housing for our unhoused residents. My hope is that just as we provide wraparound services for our individuals and families who are in need of care, we can also wrap around the community that surrounds this
Sleeps all
hotel.
3 queens.
A community that too often has been overlooked and underserved by our city.
What's up, PJ?
I believe that we can lead the way in showing Angelinos
What's up,
that
PB?
when they say yes to housing in their neighborhoods,
What's up, OCB?
that their city meets them with the support and the services they need for their communities and neighborhoods to thrive. That our neighbors who are unhoused will benefit from the units being opened in their own neighborhood. That we will commit to preventing harm, not just reacting to it, to building community, to providing pathways for community input and discussion, because this is the first of several projects and we need community engagement, true community engagement. And I hope that gets better in the future. I hope that a holistic, trauma-informed approach that adequately serves both the future residents of interim housing sites and the members of the surrounding community can be the model for the future. With that, I would like to read my amending language into the record. I move that the matter of the several, is it okay if I read into the record, City Attorney?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great, thank you. I move that the matter of the several committee reports relative to funding allocation, site acquisition, minor renovations, lease or similar agreement, and operation as temporary shelter of the property located at 1256 West 7th Street, item number 11 on today's council agenda, CF 23-0792, be amended to require that any contracts, leases, or other agreements regarding this property between the Office of the Mayor, LASA, service providers, or any other relevant entities memorialize the condition that following the expiration of the California State Encampment Resolution Grant, which will supplement operations for 2 years, bed availability at the site will be prioritized for, while not exclusively reserved for, unhoused constituents in Council District 1, while the site continues to support citywide needs. Thank you.
Oh, you guys
And
are
I'll
so
second that.
fucking mean. And you guys say I'm mean. People hate
I'll
me
second.
because I'm mean. Fuck.
Okay, Mr. Blumenfield seconds. All right, Councilmember Park.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Thank you, Council President. I personally have deep
you want a boner, Dennis?
concerns about the fiscal prudence and the long-term feasibility of owning and operating a nearly 300-unit hotel as interim housing. And I am not actually convinced that any of us have a real grasp on what the actual maintenance, service, and programming costs are going to be going forward. I also hear loud and clear the concerns of the community, the neighbors, and the businesses about the lack of outreach and the sordid history of this site when it was operated as a Project Room Key with little oversight or attention to the quality of life of residents. I have personally lived through this in Venice, so I know what it's like to live in and now to represent a community where the city's promises to neighbors about bridge housing were broken. And I can tell you that when promises like that are broken, it is hard to come back.
Yeah, like
Trust
LeBron.
becomes thin among residents if there's any left at all. And that makes things more difficult for all of us as we try to bring housing interventions online. Councilwoman Hernandez, I applaud your courage and I want you to succeed. In fact, everyone in this room and around the Horseshoe and our entire city needs you to succeed.
It looks like a little shrimp ball. Look
You
at them all
were
curled up.
elected to lead your constituents through hard decisions like this one, and because of your support for this project and the accountability amendments that you introduced, and because I believe that you are the right person to guide us through the decision, I am going to vote yes with you today, even though I personally still have a lot of questions and concerns. I also, though, want you to know that if at some point down the road this doesn't work,
It looks like the second
I'm going to
shrimp.
have your back then, too. If you need to make changes, if you want to try something else, if you need help to make any of it work better, I'm going to support you. You and every member of Council District 1 are stepping up for the potential benefit of the entire city. And if we
You
approve
sure?
this today,
OCB,
all of us
thank you.
must ensure
Appreciate
that
you,
the
OCB.
promises we are making to the neighbors are kept.
Thanks
and
again,
that
Dragon.
The investment that we are making sets the standard for what every community should expect of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Her blouse is distracting. You be looking at them titties, huh?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Me too.
First of all, Ms. Hernandez, we got to sit on the
Oh, here we
joint
go.
committee hearing this item.
I want to sit on the joint
And
committee.
Your advocacy is you doing exactly
I mean, I should be
what
on the
people
joint
of
committee.
The first Councilmanic District elected you to do. What frustrates me and disappoints me about what all of this process has entailed is something that not a single member of this council nor any community should ever have to grapple with. But for me, what was most frustrating is the lack of clarity, the financials associated with the acquisition, the speed with which we're trying to accelerate and get this thing through, not availing any time for the community to actually be heard. any one of us would fight for our community to be heard and have adequate conversations, and that has not been exercised in this process. And that is not at your hands, but I feel very strongly about it, because if we enable that environment, then we're saying it's okay depending on what location of the city that this happens to. I just have frustrations because it always feels that it's the same community that bears the burden. We see it across the city of Los Angeles, and there are certain communities that are availed far more opportunities to provide community input than what's happened in the Pico Union Westlake area, and that for me is very problematic. The other part of what I find most offensive with this, in terms of the lack of
you guys
financial,
are all offensive
outlook, is that we're saddling ourselves with an obligation for providing services, and frankly, you know, the fact that we still don't even have clarity as to whether or not the operations are fully inclusive of the services that are already being provided to the individuals at the LA Grand. We don't know dollar for dollar whether or not we're getting the same deal, because that has not been communicated to us effectively. So we don't really know that this is a better deal. There's still a lot of outstanding issues that have not been addressed. And it has been a continued trust us conversation that I cannot saddle our future as a member of the Budget Committee, as a member of this body. I cannot saddle this city with future obligations with unknown costs. As it is, the proposal to purchase this property is based on having already cut an $11 million check for repairs that are needed and required as a result of the operations during Project Room Key.
11 million
That were at the
just
time
to fix it up.
managed by the very same provider that we're talking
Bro.
about managing today. And yet those repairs aren't being completed before we propose taking acquisition of this property and having to then fulfill the very same repairs that we already settled in advance. We're paying twice. So I have very...
Sounds right, though. It's what you guys do.
I am no stranger to building PSH in my district. I am no stranger to making the very difficult decisions. I remember when I was first elected and we were having an emergency winter shelter in my district, I had protesters of kindergartners and families because of the terrible operations of a site in Pacoima. The only emergency shelter for the entire San Fernando Valley was in Pacoima. And so it was there that the Good Neighbor policy was born. I made a promise to my community that said, I will make sure that the operations are right and that you're not exposed and that the kids of our neighborhoods are not exposed to this. That's why I created the Good Neighbor policy. It's why I suggested having a hotline to provide residents the opportunity to call and report so that we don't just have a trust us environment. We have to have accountability from on the service provider, but also this city. And we need to know where the problems are, and we need to know that we need to act swiftly to address, regardless of what neighborhood it's in. Every neighborhood in Los Angeles deserves those protections. When we say yes, we say it with the caveat of we're protecting every single neighborhood, and we're going to do it responsibly. So for that, I commend you for the courage to do this. I really am disappointed that this is in fact the process. It lacks the full transparency that I believe we need to make sizable investments to this scale. There is far more due diligence that we do when we do these types of projects, particularly when we talk about an expenditure this large. And for that reason, while I continue to support all the amendments that you've advocated for to ensure the protections and the operations are well executed and that we hold everybody associated with the operation of this facility accountable, because I will be right there with you. I will show up on that doorstep alongside with you to make sure that everyone is doing their job. But I cannot support in good conscience this project and this acquisition.
What are you going to do when you get there and they ain't doing their job?
Councilmember Blumenfield.
What are you going to do?
Thank you. First, I really want to uplift Councilwoman Hernandez. This is in her district, and she has really done yeoman's work to try to both land this plane, to make it work for her constituents, to create an asset that we need in terms of homelessness, and to try and navigate that. And that is not an easy task, especially
I got
given
the same chair I have. Mine's all tore
the
up by
timing
stinks.
of this, that this is all very rushed because we have this
Same
deadline
chair.
coming where if we don't act before
See?
the deadline, the opportunity is lost. So I know it's been very difficult, and I want to uplift that. And together with Ms. Hernandez, she and I put in more than 20 different amendments to this
Got that
proposal
10-hour
to
sit
create
time.
more accountability, to create a better understanding of where some of these financial questions, asking for report backs. I think between us, we did in more than 24 different amendments, all with that in mind. And I also want to, I seconded her motion, which was the motion to see
With a
if we
1
can't
pound
make
brain.
this interim site prioritize the district, to allow a certain number of the rooms to be priority for the district. That's how we do it with all the other interim sites. The sites in our districts, we allow the local folks, because in order to have the community embrace something, they want to know that a big part of it is going to be helping get the folks off the immediate streets that are suffering but are also causing issues in that community into a better environment. Now, in this particular project, because of the way the funding stream works, you can't really do that in the first 2 years, in part because it's relying on a $60 million encampment grant, which is specifically targeted
million.
towards Skid Row. Ms. Hernandez understands that, but says, okay, we understand that for 2 years, but after that 2 years, there's got to be a way to prioritize our local community. And there is a way to do that. And her motion is not prescriptive. It doesn't say exactly this number of rooms or this way to do it. It says, we're going to figure it out. We're going to have some priority for our local folks. We're still going to have citywide folks coming into this site, which is different than a lot of our interim sites where that's not even allowed. So that's a step further. But this is a very big site, and this is a lot of city money going into it, so it's appropriate. It's appropriate that it prioritizes her district, but that it also serves the entire city, and particularly our most difficult areas in Skid Row, which is nearby. So that, I think, is a very positive amendment as a final amendment on top of the 24 other ones that we did in committee. And there were a lot of questions on this. I spent a lot of time digging in, as did many of my colleagues, because I'm both on the Homeless and Housing Committee, where we had over 4 hours worth of hearing. I was looking over at Chairwoman Rahman, but she's not there. And then on the Budget and Finance Committee, where we did the
Her
same
name is
thing,
not
but really
Rahman.
focused
It's
in
Rahman.
on the budget issues. And I also want to
Rahman would
address
be
the issue with the $11 million
R-A-M-E-N.
in
It's
damages.
R-A-M-A-N.
I was very concerned about that
It's
as well.
Rahman.
It's
She's your
feels
coworker.
painful that we,
You'd figure you'd
spent
know
with
that.
Project Roomkey, $11 million.
Co-council
and
member.
The hotel itself didn't actually make those repairs. It's kind of like car insurance. If your car gets hit and you get that check from the insurance company, they don't care if you do the repairs or not. Unfortunately, that's how it worked with Project Roomkey. But that doesn't mean that we're going to have to spend $11 million on repairs moving forward. We really went through this in committee, because those repairs are sort of the high-end repairs that are done, expensive ottomans and TV sets. Those things can be replaced from Costco at a
Things
much
look so
lower
comfortable.
price, so that the damages will more reflect a typical Project Roomkey. And then it's important to note, too, as we drill down on that those damages are reflected in the fair market value. So the fair market value of this project is lower than it would be if they spent that $11 million making that project, fixing all those things, then the fair market value would be higher and we would be paying more money. So in a sense, that it's unfortunate. I wish we hadn't spent that money. I wish there was a way that we could have avoided that. But there are multiple, there are different tracks. That's the Project Roomkey track. And unfortunately, in this case, that ship has sailed.
That's true, BJ. You're paying
Didn't
attention.
sail that long ago. We spent that part of that money fairly recently, but that was an obligation that was through Project Roomkey, and it was an issue that we explored in committee.
They spent $76
So,
million that they told you
I'm
about
supporting
today.
This project. I still have a lot of
$76
financial
million.
questions. Those of you who suffered through all of my questions in committee know that I asked a lot of questions, which sometimes, okay,
Nothing
I
to
do.
show for it either.
But it's a good thing, hopefully. During the roast, I got made fun of for that, but that's okay. But the point is, at the end of the day, we need housing. We need interim housing. The streets cannot be the waiting room for permanent supportive housing. And this is a major step forward. It allows us to leverage HUD funds that we're having difficulty leveraging. No one wants to see HUD money turned back to the feds when it can
Wireless.
be used. And yes, it's a lot of money. It is a step forward. We are going to need to be holding this accountable. We also need to hold the service provider accountable. And Weingarten Foundation came forward in committee, and I was very impressed with their
just keep
presentation.
asking for more,
They
because it'll
talked
never. You
about
can throw all the
not
money you
just
want.
serving the inside
not
of the
gonna- it's
facility,
not gonna
but
solve
actually
it.
doing the outside of the facility and walking around, making sure that it doesn't become.
And
a
they will
magnet
keep
for
throwing
encampments,
money at it, 'cause it's
which is
your
something
money.
that not all
It's
service
my
providers
money.
do, unfortunately.
It's
that I
our
think they all
money.
should do, which is why
we're paying for
building
this.
on what
That's why you
Councilwoman
should pay
Rodriguez said,
attention.
I had a motion about a good neighbor policy, and that motion is coming through committee. But we took the substance of that good neighbor policy and we inserted it into this deal via amendment, which was one of the 24 different amendments, which makes a lot of sense, and I'm pleased that that's not a big stretch for the foundation because they've already committed to doing those things. So for all of those reasons, I am supporting this, and I urge an aye vote.
Councilmember Soto Martinez for an
It's a
announcement.
grifter horseshoe is all it is.
Yes, thank you so much, Council President. I'd
Horseshoe
just
or
like to announce
grifters?
to the public and to my colleagues that we're pushing back Creed or Civil Rights Committee till 2 o'clock. Thank you.
All right, and in order to take a vote that includes Councilwoman Hernandez's motion just a few minutes ago, we're opening public comment so folks can sign up now. And once we hear from the remaining members on the queue, we will open up public comment. If there are any folks
I hope
speaking
Mr.
there,
Spindler and
that
fucking
wanna
Mr.
speak,
Herman
we'll
are
hear
in there
from them.
still.
Mr. De Leon.
Oh, I hope they're still in there. Oh, I hear Stacy yelling, so she's there.
Mr. De Leon, no more disruptions. We'll be asked to leave the meeting.
Hopefully we'll
Thank you
get
much,
two songs.
Mr.
We'll get
President.
an encore, a B-side.
Colleagues as well as the public, I want to give a special recognition and a thank you to Governor Gavin Newsom.
Oh, he can suck a
Because
dick.
that's why we're here discussing this issue with regards to the encampment grant that's been provided by the state of California. I want to also give a special recognition to Mayor Karen Bass.
Oh, she's a
as well
piece.
as her team.
She ain't done
For
nothing.
initiating the
Lazy.
decompression, things that we have been speaking about for years, if not decades. And this is important to understand because when Councilwoman Jan Perry had Skid Row, when Mr. Lindsay had Skid Row, when Ms. Rita Walters had Skid Row, there have been years of discussion of decompression, but it's just been rhetoric. Finally, the mayor is moving
Vicente
this
passed
forward,
away, man.
and I want to recognize that. I want to also
Looks like
recognize
Edward James
Councilwoman
Olmos.
Eunice Hernandez, too, for stepping up, because this is not easy by no stretch of the imagination.
He's Edward James almost.
We have done numerous projects like this in City 14, and it's not simple. So I do want to recognize her stepping up on this issue. One thing I want to highlight, which I think is very important, perhaps
He looks
for
like the Night Stalker.
the mayor's staff,
Does look like that kind of too.
a good majority
Little Richard Ramirez.
of inside safe
He
locations
was creepy looking.
are
Man.
located
And
in
he
poor,
stank.
black and brown, low-income neighborhoods.
It's funny how that's how they
In
everybody
fact,
identified him by
closer
his
to
smell.
70%
Like,
of
you
inside
know, people
safe
that
are
interacted with him that he
geographically
didn't kill.
in low-income neighborhoods.
Said how they all noticed
so
how
that
it smelled.
goes kind of the opposite of
crazy.
when we talk about
Never
equity
showered, I guess.
for communities that are suffering greatly. I know the MacArthur Park, Pico Union area extremely well because I used to live right across the street from MacArthur Park. It is the densest part of the city of LA. And
Man,
with
did YouTube
drug
go
use
down?
and drug selling, you see all the Beamers and all the Audis and all the Porsches coming from other parts of the town.
I don't see them in my chat.
In
again.
Pico Union, in Westlake, MacArthur Park area. That is not a good
it's still
thing,
up,
because it
but,
compounds the poverty even more so for residents who live there.
It's just I can't
So
see
I
the chat.
commend
Okay.
Eunice Hernandez for the number of amendments.
I
that she has
apologize,
moved forward.
YouTubers. I can't see the
Obviously,
chat.
her and her staff are going to have to really work through
Try to
this
refresh,
in real time as you move forward with the mayor's staff to make sure that each amendment, in fact, is followed through on, specifically, because what's on paper is one thing and what's an amendment is another thing. What actually happens on the ground in real time, that's something that's altogether dramatically different. So I do want to recognize that, very much, given the crisis that we're dealing with. I know that the Joint Committee with
I'm on that Joint Committee.
Budget and Finance yesterday had a thorough discussion on the finances. I heard Ms. Rodriguez speak, as well as Mr. Blumenfeld, on the finance as well. I have a lot of questions. I'm not going to get into them at all whatsoever, because I think they were thoroughly discussed and communicated clearly. The price tag, I think it would be really good for the next, whatever acquisition is going to be, beforehand, we sort of kind of work this through, because on the price point per unit is going to have to get a little lower. And the last thing I'm going to have to say is this: yeah, it should get lower, because it's extremely high. Because I don't know why you don't change the word interim into permanent. Because if that was a permanent price per unit at $285, it would be really acceptable, unquestionably, in comparison to HHH, which is 800,000 K per unit and above.
Did you hear that? 800,000 a piece.
I'd like to have that discussion.
A unit.
We can have it
for
later
homeless
on
people.
Right there. But that is a really important point.
Most people
right there,
watching don't have an
because our price per
$800,000
units,
house.
and we have double the units that we have created so far, comes around 100K. And what blows our numbers a little higher are the acquisitions of 2 hotels, Titus Inn and the Super 8. That blows my number a little higher on the methodology. But, this is something that we can discuss further. But again, I just want to give the recognition what's due, to Gavin Newsom, because of the grants, and our colleagues up in the state capitol, to the Mayor Karen Bass and her team for moving forward with the decompression, and to Councilwoman Eunice Hernandez for the difficulty of helping to help lead this, to land this
Me
here
too, Hoosier.
as we move forward. It's the beginning of many projects we're going to have to figure out.
So I'm
as we
saying,
move
BJ.
forward. But to the point that Ms. Rodriguez and Mr. Blumenfeld has made, we're going to have to do a much,
And then
much
you're
better
talking about
job
people that
in
can't
terms of the
afford
price
to upkeep it anyways.
Thank you, Mr. De
So who's
Leon.
paying for the
Mr.
electricity, the water, any kind of maintenance or gardening?
Thank you very much.
Property taxes on an
First of all, I
$800,000
appreciate all of
house.
the time
Who's
we spent
paying for
Budget
that?
and Finance yesterday. I had a number of questions. I continue to have a number of questions. I think many of us do.
Disgusting.
I want to also thank the council member, Eunice Hernandez, for doing the best with a very difficult situation. Finding yourself in a position that you had to respond to, and responding with leadership and with courage. I appreciate that. I also appreciate Councilmember Park's comments. I join her that we all
hilarious
want
until you flip the
each
bill.
of our members to be successful. We certainly want this to be successful, and I too will have your back. But I continue to have the concern, and it's been played out right here in this discussion. We have a couple of dozen amendments, several reports back, on a project which will be a dramatic change in policy, a monumental and important change in policy, a change in policy that we should make. But we should have a policy when we make it. And we do not have a policy. And I do not want to put myself in a position where I'm talking about policy and having it sort of overtake the importance of the most important humanitarian crisis happening in our lifetime. But we do need a policy. We need to know where we're going. We often talk about, in government, very often, we say we're building the plane as we're flying it. And sometimes that's appropriate. Often that's appropriate. But sometimes the passengers are critically important.
Yeah, the ones you don't
And we
ever
have a
want to
lot
listen
of
to.
The most important passengers involved in
Those
this
same
flight.
ones that are so important.
And I just feel that we are not ready for takeoff. And I feel like we need to work with, and I so appreciate the mayor, and I so appreciate every single actor from Sacramento to our neighborhoods who are all saying, let's figure this out.
Everybody in
Let's do it."
Sacramento, this is for you.
But I have to be a no
Stroking my
today.
cock for you.
And I will be a no.
Flinging a web.
And I know where this is going. I also know where this is going. So while I'm a no, I'm also fully and completely committed to each of the amendments. And I think these amendments need to become informative And unfortunately, the flight, while we're building this plane, needs to be informative for where we go in the future, because it is too important. It's too important for me to vote yes, and I'm not saying that it's not important to you. If you vote yes, I understand. We're all in this together. But today I'm going to remain intellectually consistent with where I was over the last few days, and I'm going to be a no. So thank you.
All right. We have 2 speakers on the queue for public comment, so we'll go to that at this moment.
Please let it be somebody good. Please, one of the regs. Please.
First caller, please go ahead.
Thanks. It's Eric Previn. I think it has to be slowed down and lights turned on. It's a very tough situation, and I take note of Blumenfield's remarks about the $11 million that was paid to these room key characters to fix the place up, and now are we paying twice? I think Rodriguez said we have to. That is a disgusting detail. Okay, the fact that insurance, you don't have to fix the car. We're not going to buy. They have to put the money on the screen. I mean, that is just they're just these hotel companies are ripping people off. Okay, it's not appropriate. This is a lot of public money. So, once again, thank you to Councilmember De Leon and Governor Newsom. Both of them deserve a lot of gratitude on this. Just thank you for all their work. No, but I mean, this is very, very hard for UNICEF, but we'll get it right. And I think it's very important that Mr. McCosker has outlined the airplane analogy to its. We have to double check that it was fly, but good work. Thank you.
Oh, man.
And as a reminder to everybody who's signing up for public comment on this item, this is for item 11 only. We are reopening public comment, so you will have 1 minute for item 11 only.
Next caller, please go
Next
ahead.
caller. How big is your penis?
Mr. Hernandez, again, keep the fight. Make it great. And persuade those people to vote for you. Because in Arleta, District 6, when I ran for this office, it wasn't because I was a politician, but I know my community. They didn't want the senior citizen home built here. They didn't want it. They thought it was going to be for the homeless. Or they're building it. It's twice the time on the calendar. And again, twice over budget. That's 80 units, 9120 Woodman Avenue. I care for it because it helps the people transition from the hospital, not to the street. Now, if it's going to be a homeless encampment, it needs to serve your community the way it should. 3/4 of those people should be invested in your District 1. It should be that way or no way at all. Let it be that or nothing at all. Because if you're going to go ahead, gentrification starts all over again. Let's get the people that need it what they need, not the people that want it. God bless you all. Vote with Mr. Hernandez. Let it happen.
Caller, your time has expired.
Smoke.
Next caller, please go ahead.
Mayor Bass is running our city to the ground. Everyone is learning that Mayor Bass is shaping to be a terrible mayor. This is not anti-anything, just plain observation. Just look at the streets. No hotel in
Caller,
CD5,
I'm going to
the
ask that
council
you tie
voted.
this to the item. We are only taking public comment
No
on item
hotel
11.
in CD5, the council voted, but the homeless
This
put the
caller is not on topic. If you can't get on topic, we're going to move
the
on.
homeless on CD1, but no hotel in CD5. I am on topic. The Mayfair is fishy business. Hernandez, the mayor, and Westside City Council members are putting one over on you. This increases the CD1 population, leaving fewer resources for your constituents. Concentrating homeless in ghetto motels is not the solution. What a shame. 4118 should read, the homeless must live 500 feet around council member homes until they create quality jobs that will allow people to afford affordable housing and receive proper medical attention. Lower taxes and reduce red tape to stimulate the economy. Create quality jobs so people
Speaker,
can
your
afford.
time has expired.
All right, that concludes public comment on this item. Before I give the floor back to Mr. Hernandez to close, I just wanted to thank all the members for our deliberations in
He
this
even
process.
wanted to dump one of 2 callers.
Some of us spent 10 hours in hearings between homelessness and housing and budget and finance, and I know the council offices and the mayor. Please stop disrupting the meeting.
Oh, pat yourself on the back. You worked for 10 whole
We
hours.
don't have you on the queue.
At
We've exhausted the
200,000
queue
plus a
that we
year.
see.
Oh, you worked for 10 hours. Oh,
Please
wow.
do not interrupt the meeting. Hold on just 1 minute.
Wow. Thank you, Spectrum. You piece of shit, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's fucking
All right.
crying when they make it
the advice from
$250K,
city
quarter
attorney is
million a
that
year.
we
He's
take,
crying. He's working
folks who
a
want to
one
speak. We'll get
10-hour
5
day.
minutes for in-person public comment.
Fuck. That's why our
We
city's in
don't have
shambles.
your names are for some reason not your fault. Your names are not appearing on our queue.
Of course
so
they
we'll
are.
just ask you to line up and come
Of
forward.
course
and
they
you'll have
aren't. For
1 minute
some
to speak
reason, we have a
on the
technical
amendment.
error. I mean, dude, total idiocracy right here.
We seem to be. Good afternoon. So you have 1 minute for item number 11.
Hi, good afternoon. I live right across the street from the Mayfair.
Fucking
and I just wanna say
dilldozers
this.
coming in.
I know the Weingart Group did have a really pretty presentation, wrapped all nicely in ribbons, told us all
Is that
exactly
Mr.
what
Sachs?
we want to hear.
Dude, Mr.
But I
Sachs is
really
there. Mr.
urge you
Sachs
guys
is
to
talking
think
to the
about
cops.
the
Yeah, Mr.
logical
Sachs.
feasibility
Okay.
of the project. Is this something that is possible? Do you have stats of their success rates? Do you have the numbers for previous projects that they already have open? Right? Almost every single council member here today has mentioned that they still have questions and concerns, and I don't understand how you can make an informed decision without having all the stats, the numbers, the answers, and without community outreach. I have been a part of this fight from the moment I heard about it, and I have not once seen, representation from council member in this district. I haven't seen any questions be asked of the residents, so can't move forward without
Thank
an
you.
informed
That's your
decision.
time.
Thank
Next
you.
speaker.
Thank you. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, yes. Let's go.
Yes, thank you. Again, Arnold Sachs. Couple of corrections, please. Mr. De Leon was wrong about the history of the city council. First of all, Jan Perry never had this district.
So, Mr. Sachs, this is about item 11 only. So you'll-
He was talking about the amendment. Excuse me, Mr. City Attorney. Kevin De Leon got up and spoke
this is
about
only
this.
on the Hernandez amendment.
Oh, okay. It's a grant for 20 years from the state of California. Grants are for 20 years. The history of the city council dealing with this project is completely wrong. I don't understand. You're talking about Project Room Key when you're using key cards. It's really, really important. The most important part of the agenda are the periods. L period, A period. It's Los Angeles. It's not La La Land. You just need to understand that.
That's your time. Thank you. Next speaker.
Ah, man, I didn't get enough of him.
So they're
feel
artificially shortening the time, not letting all the speakers speak on this special item, saying it's only going to be allowed 5 minutes, so that's pretty ridiculous. This item, I don't even remember the amendment because we blew through this shit so fucking fast, and there was all these different amendments. But I think it's really sad that we don't do what we need to be doing for the community. We just rubber stamp shit, pass it through. Everybody comes out here, speaks against it, and then we just sit here on our phones like Ulysses, like Price, like everybody just sitting there not even paying attention while the public speaks their mind and their hearts out, which is pretty sad. We don't need interim housing. We need permanent housing. We don't need to be giving money away or taking money for bribes and throwing it around this way and that way. The community tells you what they want, what they need. You need to live and serve the community, not your developer interests and your little fucking side gigs that you have going on that you refuse to tell anybody about and recuse yourselves from the meetings regarding. Thank you. Also,
Next
we have
speaker.
a lot of vacant units.
Next speaker. This is your time.
Hi. I live across the street from the Mayfair Hotel. And SR Road that owns the Weingart, they're terrible landlords. I lived in the Rosin Hotel for 4.5 years prior to my current residency. And the problems we had there are nothing like what they're saying. They didn't manage the property correctly. They allowed tenants to stand outside or sit outside at the front of the buildings selling cigarettes, selling drugs,
Lucy's,
prostitution. And when the elevators go out in a 15-story building, like at the former residency I lived in, when they go out, they stay out for like 2-3 weeks, a month. How can tenants in a 15-story building function
Aces?
when they have no elevator? And the children that live in the neighborhood that go to 3 schools within...
Thank you. That's your time. Next speaker.
So mean. Supra, thank you so much for the 28 months.
Political theater's okay, but we know what's going on here. You can't go now and then ask questions later. That's not the way you run a proper business model. You are in the business to manage our funds. It is not your funds. We have a program called LA Repair that's going to be for disadvantaged communities, yet you're bringing the disadvantage to us. You have not alerted our first responders, you have not alerted the Latinos in the community, and you've not alerted the police. How are they going to manage this capacity of people? This is Westlake. It's already been said that in 2 years the funds will be gone. So how do you expect in 2 years you're going to reevaluate and see that we can help people in Westlake? These people are not in our community. Elections are coming very soon, guys. This is your David and Goliath moment. Be the David that's strong and bold and make the right decision, because this is going to impact us and it's going to go to all the other surrounding communities. I go to church at Shepherd in Porter Ranch. I have a large community there. They're going to hear about what's going on here. So make the wise decision, because everybody's going to see the impact about this. And you can laugh all you want, Eunices, but we don't live in Highland Park. This is Westlake, okay? This is Pico Union. We have to deal with the granite things. We're not home.
Thank you so much. That's your time.
Ah, you can laugh at me. Eunices, they laughing at you, girl.
Hi, my name is Angad Gada. My family and I have been next to the Mayfair for the last 25 years, since 1998. I want to speak to Eunices directly, but I echo everything that Councilwoman Rodriguez said. I think we need more time to think this through. I implore you to vote no on this so that the community can speak to you directly, because I don't think we've had enough time. It's only been a handful of us that have spoken to you, but there are so many people. If you came to our district, to our area in your district, and spoke to people on the streets, you would find that most people do not want this to happen. It's just rushing through something that caused so much commotion and danger in our community for the 2 years when Weingart Center was running the Mayfair. So we already know from experience that they're not capable of doing it. There are promises being made, but we don't know if they can actually fulfill them. And I know that Tracy Park had also mentioned that in Venice, they experienced the same thing. So let's slow down. We're rushing through something that doesn't need to be rushed. This is a lot of money, and we need to think carefully of how we do it. So please vote no, because everyone else will follow your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're speaking now on the item because we had an amendment. I think it's really interesting during Mr. Blumenfeld's remarks.
Are they fighting?
He mentioned that he regretted that the council voted, or that they voted to pay for the damages, because had they not paid for the damages previously caused when this hotel was under Project Roomkey, they would have been able to acquire the building at a lower market value. Really just saying the quiet part out loud. That's exactly what you said, Mr. Blumenfeld. Had we not funded that $11 million for repairs, we'd be able to acquire at a better market value, because that increased the fair market rate. That's exactly what you said. We should amend this to say permanent housing instead of interim housing, or one of you should move to continue the item for 30 to 60 days so that you can actually get the public's actual input instead of this last minute piecemeal rush it through. You can give us more time for this.
Thank you so much.
No song?
That concludes in-person and virtual public comment. We will close discussion on this item by hearing from Ms. Hernandez, who I want to give a huge compliment, along with Mr. Blumenfield, who just worked this and worked this and worked this. There was as you've heard here, there was every opportunity, there was every reason, there was every rationale to say no, or to just back away and say, not today, tomorrow, or not at all, or not in my backyard, or any of those things. And to watch you all press and press and press, 10 hours of hearings, late night discussions, back and forth figuring out, I just think it's an example to all of us on this council for the kind of commitment it makes to come up with a solution. I also want to thank all the members, but especially Ms. Park for her comments. The fact that we have to put motions up to say that the street has to stay clean and that our laws that we already have on the books, that's a ridiculous situation, whether or not we do this project or not. And so, like Ms. Park, like Mr. McCosker, like all of the members who've spoken, I will have your back, because I live in a part of the city where the city has said over and over, we'll do this, we'll do that, and you look up 6 months later and nobody's home. And you can't get an answer to your question. You can only get excuses for why it isn't done. And so I want to personally bear witness to that reality and commit to, with you and all the members of this council, to changing it and making this a place where neighborhoods can count on their city government. And with that, Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President, colleagues. Deepest gratitude to all of you for speaking up, for voting in the ways that you are, but speaking up about it. Grateful for that. This is the first of several acquisitions that are happening. And Westside community, CD1 residents and constituents, I'm not going to just let this go. I'm not going to just let them do what they want to do and continue the process that has been rolling through with real lack of community engagement. I promise you that right here, right now, I will not. I will hold all the stakeholders accountable, including the mayor's office and the mayor's team that has been rolling this through, and not in the best way. And so I look forward to moving with all of you in a better direction in implementation, but I have to be very clear, I'm not gonna let my community down. I just wanted to make that very clear to everybody, because this is a big lift. This is 300 rooms, potential double occupancy. We are not playing. I am not playing. So please, with potential, Jenna, potential for more people. And so I just want to be clear with that I'm excited about how things are moving forward. I still have a lot of concerns, but I'm not going to take the gas off of it, and an implementation as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hernandez.
She all gas, no break.
What is before us?
Mr. President, the vote now is on Amendment 11A, and that is motion Hernandez, Blumenfield.
All right, Amendment 11A, Ms. Hernandez is asking for an aye vote on her amendment. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right, what's next?
The next vote, sir, is the Budget and Finance Committee report, the Joint Housing and Homelessness and Government Operations Committee report, as amended by amending motion 11A, Hernandez, Blumenfield.
All right, so this is the motion as amended. Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 2 noes.
All right. What's next?
The last vote is the vote to request to send this matter to the mayor urgent forthwith, sir.
All right, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes, 1 no.
All right. Thank you. What's next?
Next would be item number 1, and that was called special for an amendment.
All right, do we have that amendment?
In
old dirty diaper.
Mr. Price?
Thank you, Mr. President. I must recuse myself from this item.
Of course, because I'm federally indicted.
All right, for the record, Mr.
Because I do own some real estate.
Excellent. For the record, Mr. Price is recusing himself on this item.
And then also, CD2 is also recusing because of his rental properties.
So, Council President Krikorian and Council Member Price are recusing themselves on this item, and we have an amendment before us that has to be read into the record. All right, we have a quick announcement. Per Council President Krikorian, Rules Committee will commence at 2 p.m. as opposed to 1 p.m.
Yes, that's how they do it, BJ. And that's why I said if you counted today, just today, with all the agenda, the 3 agendas that they were talking about, $76 million of taxpayer money spent. And then the best thing is they have.
All right, we have an amendment.
They have the audacity to pat themselves on the
Councilmember
back after
Hutt.
they've spent your money and our money.
On behalf of Councilmember
Oh
Rahman.
man, I did such a great thing by spending your money
Thank
and
you,
making
Mr. President.
change,
On
and
behalf
then you
of
look
my
around and
council
like
member
you're like,
colleague,
well,
Rahman,
what change
I
is
move,
happening?
Item 1 on today's agenda.
Other than us getting
agenda,
broke,
CF
nothing happening.
23078078,
But you rolling in a nice suit.
0738, be amended to include the following additional instructions. In instructions number 1, add the words feedback
Then
from
they're mad
stakeholders,
about working a
including
10-hour
property
day when
owners,
they make a
tenants,
$250,000 a
and.
year.
So instruct the Los Angeles Housing Department with the assistance of the CAO
Tell that to a
and
bricklayer,
CLA to
construction
report
worker.
in 60 days with the recommendations to require
that
lead
to
and
them.
mold
I'll laugh in your
inspections as a
fucking
part
face.
of the SCEP beginning July 1, 2025. The report should include feedback from stakeholders, including
They don't know a
property
hard
owners
day's work.
and tenants, and an analysis of any personnel or changes needed to the LA Housing Department Regulatory Code and Compliance Bureau to implement the recommendation.
All right, I'll second that amendment.
Thank
So,
Anything else, Mr. Attorney?
Then they took a month break.
that satisfies the requirement.
Took
so
a
we can,
1 month summer break, got paid for
open
the
the roll
summer
on this item
vacation
as
they were
amended.
on, of course. Then when they came back,
Close the roll.
not even all these
Tabulate the vote.
motherfuckers was here. President was still out,
12
hanging
ayes.
out. I can't make it back.
All right,
Damn, it's popping right now.
we have one
All
more
the clubs
item
have
before
closed.
us.
The fucking
Yes,
parking
sir.
lot
The
pimping
next
is
vote
on.
is on item number 13.
You guys want to
sir.
watch this and
All
listen
right.
to them,
Ms.
or would you
Rodriguez?
rather watch them and listen to them?
I'd like to amend to move
Let me know.
disapprove, please.
Courtroom
Excellent. I'll
or
second,
Thailand?
that motion. Any discussion?
Or not
Seeing
courtroom,
none,
it's chambers.
Open the roll.
Oh,
Oh, yes, that's right.
nothing but hot, sweaty, drunk people pouring out of the clubs.
Open the roll.
You'd rather see the chambers? Watch this. Thailand.
Close the roll.
Thailand.
Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Thailand.
All right.
Thailand. Okay. We'll watch Thailand.
What's next?
If anything happens in the end, I'll watch it and we'll flip it real
Council has motions for posting a referral.
Those motions are posted and referred. Any announcements, members? Ms. Rodriguez.
I just want to
Men
wish
with
all my
purses.
colleagues happy Great 1-8
There's one
Day.
right there.
There it is. Look at
he's got
this
like
is
a
day to
karate
celebrate
outfit.
the San
Look at
Fernando
him.
Valley, and so I want to invite all my colleagues. If you haven't been
Oh,
to,
that dude was awesome.
probably the best heat you would
Oh.
ever find in the city of Los Angeles, come visit us out. Mr. Blumenfield is the hottest point of the San Fernando Valley in the city. So if you'd like to come out, enjoy everything that the San Fernando Valley has to offer. We have wonderful communities that make up the San Fernando Valley, and we want to invite you all out to come out and enjoy some of what we have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Soto Martinez.
Men with purses.
Thank you so much, Council President. I just want to invite everyone this Sunday. We're going to be having.
Uh-oh.
Like
Someone's
I was
getting
saying-
crazy.
Mr. Martinez.
Thank you so
Who's
much.
throwing shit?
This Sunday, we're going to be having a Ciclavia.
Who's
and
throwing
it's
it?
going to be called Hollywood Meets Koreatown. So we're going to be
Ciclavia. I'm going to take you over,
CD13
guys. Smoke and
and
scan
CD10.
meet up. Hold
It
on.
will be from 9 a.m. to
We'll do it
4
right here
p.m.
in Hollywood, our
We
first
know
one
there's
ever.
a hurricane that's coming around, but please look
Hurricane.
at social media for any updates. As
Hurricane.
of now, it is still planned, but we want to be safe. And if we have
Just
to
come out on your
postpone it,
bike
we
in the
will do that.
hurricane.
As you all know, Ciclavia, this Ciclavia will be a 5-mile stretch, I think, connecting two of the best districts in the city of Los Angeles.
You guys can't
and
see
as
anything
someone
anyways,
who
thanks
loves
to
to bike,
Spectrum. Fuck.
Sorry, no offense, Mr. McCosker. As someone who
Shit,
likes to
Spectrum.
bike, I think it's important to get out, get on your wheels, your rollerblades, your skateboard, whatever that may be. Every time we do it, it's an amazing time, and I hope to see you all there. And then I have a second announcement that I will be doing in a minute.
All right, other announcements, members?
I want to ask you guys a question, too. You know, about a month ago, I...
Ms. Hutt, you have a Ciclavia you want to announce?
About a month ago, I got a thing from them
Yeah, it's the. Sorry, it's
from
Bloody
Spectrum
August
saying,
thing.
here,
It's
you know,
not
here's
been
here's a
around.
new router coming.
This is a Ciclavia.
So we can give you faster
13,
speed.
10, 10, 13. You know, 10 goes with everything, right? Right? So we're excited about it. I'll be out there early in the morning on Saturday. And then I have another announcement that I don't have a thing for, but on Sunday, you know, the weather permitting, Los Angeles High School is celebrating 150 years. And that's really exciting. My mom went there, so it's a big deal to me. So we'll be out there at 11 o'clock. I'm going to ride my bike down to LA High's.
So 11 o'clock on Sunday, the 150th birthday of our beloved Los Angeles High School. All right, Mr. Soto Martinez.
Thank you so much, Council President. Can I have my friend and colleague, Jesse Alsamukman, please come up? You're going to be on TV today. So today is a sad day for myself and the office because we're losing a guy who has been with me at least since day one, since I decided to run for office. I met Jesse about over 2 years ago.
Got a sweet tampon on his
Hold on,
face.
Mr. Soto Martinez. to the three people by the second pillar from the back on the east side of the building, we need you to be quiet right now or leave the room. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Martinez.
Yes. So Jesse and I have known each other for a few years, both
Nice
as
tampon,
activists
bro.
and organizers in District 13. But a lot of folks don't know the role that he played, not only
I mean,
helping
he
me
does
win
look
the
like a
seat,
real-
but also taking down the fence at Echo Park Lake. Jesse was the main person. Yeah, thank you for the applause. Jesse was the main person talking to the different advocates, the organizers, the unhoused,
The maxi pad?
doing door knocking, and bringing the community in to make sure
With
that,
the
that
hooks
we
and the
told
whole
the public that we don't have to choose
jockstrap
between
holder.
caring for the unhoused and having a beautiful, safe park, that we can actually do both. And so he was with us throughout that entire process. Jesse has used the most Simpson quotes than anyone in City Hall ever in the history of Los Angeles. We are sad to have him leave, but this is not a goodbye. As you all know, who've been activists and organizers, it's a very small world. We'll see each other in different fights and different paths. But on behalf of the City of Los Angeles and entire City 13 family, I would like to present Jesse Alsamukman with a recognition for all the amazing work he did with my team. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And thank
Hey,
you
bro,
for your
you can't have
service.
anybody touch your mask. It'll kill you, bro.
Other announcements?
You'll die, bro.
All right, seeing no further announcements, I'll ask that everybody in the chamber rise for adjourning motions.
All right, adjourning motions. They're getting the fuck out of here, man. Why
Any
are they
adjourning
dressed
motions
alike?
on this side of the room?
I didn't even notice that.
All right, seeing none, any adjourning motions on this side of the room? Mr. Blumenfield.
Great, thank you. I rise today to adjourn in the memory of Gene Gaines, who passed away Tuesday, July 4th, 2023, and we're
Rest in
joined
peace,
by
Gene.
Ellen and the family here. Gene was a member of our city family.
No, it's
But before I
Milken,
get to that, let
not
me tell you a little
Milkman.
bit about
Milken.
Mr. Gaines and his accomplished life before he came to work here.
Milliken.
Eugene Carver Gaines was born on June 26, 1943 in Laurel, Mississippi. He was one of 7 brothers and 1 sister born to Isaac Gaines Sr. and Beatrice Gaines. Gene attended David Starr Jordan Middle and High School. After graduating, he attended UCLA on a football scholarship and graduated with a degree in education. He married Marion Backstrom on October 4th, 1959 at All People's Christian Church in Los Angeles. They were blessed with 3 children, Ellen, who is here, Eugene Jr., and Elaine. They were happily married for 54 years until Marion's passing. As a result of his incredible college football career, Gene Gaines was selected by the San Diego Chargers in 1961.
The Chargers?
But he opted to play in the Canadian Football League.
What? Who would
As a
want to
member
play
of
in
the
the
Ottawa
CFL
Rough Riders in
instead?
1962, he quickly made it home as he would spend the next 8 years of his illustrious career playing there.
What?
In 1970, Gene spent 7 years with the Montreal Alouettes as a player and defensive backfield coach. You don't see that anymore. He played over 200 games, and 161 of them were consecutive. Another unheard of milestone nowadays. By the time he retired, Gene had left his mark on the Canadian Football League, leaving the game as a 3-time All-Star, 1966 East Division Most Outstanding Player of the Year, and he won back-to-back Grey Cups in 1968 and 1969. and he still holds the record for the longest kickoff return in history when he brought one back for 128 yards.
Well, their Grey Cup is
To
the,
top it
is
all
the Super
off,
Bowl
Gene
for
was
them.
inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 1994 and was later inducted into Ottawa's Wall of Honor just 2 months ago on the team's home opener. He was also honored as a member of the 1968 Grey Cup champions on their 50th anniversary when my Deputy Chief John Popach ran into his colleague at the site of the celebration all the way out in Ottawa, Canada. They worked together for our Recreation and Parks Department at various rec centers and in some of the most needy communities of the city, along with Gene's daughter, Ellen, another longtime member of the city family, who's, again, right here with her family. John and my staff was thrilled to be by the collaboration with the football hero in Gene on trying to bring the best out of our youth and help them on a path of opportunity and success like the one that Gene took. Throughout his magnificent career, Gene managed to also be a member of the Air Force Reserve, where he was honorably discharged in 1967. Since he was young, Gene accepted Jesus Christ, and later in his career was very active in the Athletes in Actions ministry. He would continue to be an active member of the Harbor Church here in Los Angeles, California. Mr. Gaines is survived by his 3 children, Ellen, Eugene, and his wife Robin, Elaine and her husband Robert, 5 grandchildren, Desiree, Sarah, Courtney, Keegan, and Kendall, 3 brothers, Harold and his wife, Inesia.
They look
Winslow
pretty
and
angry.
his
He looks
wife,
pretty angry.
Alberta.
Look at him in the white.
Frank and his wife,
He had to
Beverly.
sit through all this.
His sister, Beatrice. His sister-in-law, Sandy. As well as his brothers-in-law,
Mr.
Warner,
Herman,
Don, and
all the
Vernell Baxter.
whole song,
All of
everything.
them loved him dearly. Gene will be deeply missed. May Gene Gaines rest in peace.
Thank you. And Mr. McCosker.
Be honored to join in that adjournment, please.
And may he rest in peace, and our condolences to you and your family. Thank you. Seeing no further adjourning motions, we are adjourned. See you next Tuesday.
She started yelling. Look, she's yelling right there. Stacy Cigar Bollinger. Oh, no. That shit ain't happening like that. That's funny, man. That shit's funny. So, taking a look here at the, back in Thailand once again. Back in Thailand once again. So I'll finish this bowl and then I'm out. But we'll be live tonight, guys. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we always do. Should be fun tonight. Go check out the Elbow Room Bar and Grill and see what they's up to. You know what I mean? And do our normal thing. Go hang out with some stringers. Be interesting to see. I don't think, like I said, any weather is hitting anywhere, even in San Diego, until Sunday night, I think. So, I mean, we still got a few days till any weather comes. And like I said, I'm willing to bet, says it's just a, good little storm. Get some rain, get some wind. You might have flooding in places that you normally have flooding when it rains normally. But it's all that hype. They want to click. It's clickbait, realistically. I mean, it's happening, but they're amplifying it, and that's all they do. It's like an echo chamber, and yeah, man, they sensationalize everything. That's why I said it's like the earthquake. Oh my God, you feel it? You get it on your phone. 2.7 hit. A napkin flew off your table. Did you feel it? No, I didn't. But you clicked on my shit, and now I got the clicks going, and that gets advertisers saying, "Hey, look how many people click on our shit." Okay, and then they do it over and over and over and over and over. That's really what it boils down to, man. That's what it boils down to, man. We'll go over here. It's like a sausage fest here at the. I mean, there's one lady up there, but other than that, it's pretty sausagey up in this joint right now. Uh-oh, the bodybuilding MILF just walked in. Look at her. Bro, how much do you bench? Do you see? Oh, my God. She has straight fucking cannons. Bro, Do you even lift? Look at those fucking guns, dude. She's like a battleship with them guns. Jeez Louise. Bricked up. Sock you dead in your face. You see her traps? Look how big her traps are. My God. Damn. She's a creatine monster. I know it. It's awesome. She's definitely big, bro. I'm telling you. I know I ain't lifting anything she's lifted. She's killing me. On any rack. I mean, bro. No, it's definitely a woman. I think it's a woman. You think it's a man, huh? I mean, he's jacked too, but she's really jacked because she's the dresser. You can like seaboard. Bro, and she just fixed her shit. She went like that. She just cut. It's like she has a boulder underneath her goddamn skin right there. Oh, dudes for days. It is right now, Michael. But, Michael, look, I bet you if you come in tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to look at this very same bar live, and you tell me. Bet I'd be willing to do a $10 PayPal bet with you, if you'd be willing. Says the ratio, and we'll count them together, would be at least 60% women. Bet. I'd bet. If not more. It's definitely that. You got to remember, this is right on the beach. I mean, look, you can see, look up in the corner over there, the top left. You can see the traffic going by, right? So right across that street is literally the beach. So you have people, rolling in really quick. It's hot. They're going to, snatch up a beer, drink real quick, and then kind of move. But you notice there's no band playing. And what I've noticed watching it, even on Friday night when it is packed, right? You won't see the floor because there's that many people at all. You won't see it. But I've noticed this. As soon as the band stops playing, people really just chill. Like they're just like in this kind of like laid back mode. You know what I mean? It's weird how then the band starts playing and then they just get up again. And this bar's been around since 1938. It's right on the strip there, right on the corner. It's in a great spot. So, yeah. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you guys before I wanted to ask you guys. Now, like I told you about a month ago, I was getting these messages from Spectrum saying, hey, we're sending you this new router, blah, blah, blah. Because, that way you can get the faster speeds that are available. You know what I mean? And so I said to them when I thought, okay, well, this is probably a mistake. So finally, they dropped one off at my house. So I called them up. I was like, hey, I didn't order a router from you guys. Oh, no. We're sending them out to all the customers. So that way you can replace your old router, and that way you have the faster speed. I said, well, no, because I already went through your junky refurbished routers, and that's where we had problems. I had to keep sending you guys. You had to keep coming out to fix problems, and all you do is give me another refurbished router. So I went out and bought my own router, so that way I can also save $15 or $12 a month, because that's what they charge you for the router rental. And I'm thinking it's a gimmick to get them to drum up to get more router money. Just that router rental money is huge for them. Most people rent their routers. So I went out and got myself a nice $300 router, modem, all that good jazz. Okay, and it works, knock on wood, just good. Just great. And now it's been 3 years now. Not one time have they had to come out. So now I have this fucking router in my living room that's boxed up that I haven't even opened from them. I ask you this. Do you think they're purposefully, because they know I'm using my own router, throttling my fucking up or down load speeds? Yes or no? Yeah, Vic, I got a nice combo. It was like $300. It's no joke. No, of course. So there's 2. Yes, probably. 100, no. Yeah, there is a chance. They will own you. They already do. Yeah, scam. I think it is. I mean, you know, like I said, what I'm going to do is when I'm done now, I'm going to go and undo my router and modem and just leave it off for 10 minutes. You know, normally you wait a minute or two and go right back. But let it go for 10 minutes. See if it makes any difference. But I got to be honest too, guys. I notice where I live here, there's a lot of people that stay home. Like they work from home, you know what I mean, here where I'm at. So the usage of the internet, it gets a little tough. Plus, I also notice when it gets super hot, I seem to have issues too. It's really hot outside today. You know what I mean? And all in my neighborhood, there's no poles. There's only, everything's in the ground. And there is no fiber in my neighborhood. They just never put the fiber, but all the other connections are in the ground. AT&T, these guys, Spectrum. So they're all in the ground. So when it gets really hot, I notice that there's an issue sometimes too. And it's only during the day usually. Because you notice we never really get that at night. It's only during the day. So all I can think of is maybe the heat of the day or morning and a lot of people at home using it. Because when we're on, usually it's night and the folks around here are a bit older. So I figure they're probably in bed or they're probably just not even using the internet. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Well, I used to live with Spectrum. I used to own a router and I throttled it as soon as I hooked up the router. It went from 50, 100 to 300 megs. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, But that's the thing. If I did a speed test, right? I mean, we would see 300, probably my guess would be like 320 down right now and about 3 up. And anything less than 7, you're getting the gray screen. Simple as that. And it'll be going from 3 to like 7, popping around when it should be at about 20, normally 19, 20, because that's what they're telling they give you. And it's about 19. The band's playing now. But yeah, that's, I don't know. I just feel like that's what they're doing. And I still have this router a month, and they're like, well, why don't you just come drop it off? Well, why don't you just come pick it up? I didn't ask for it. I'm not wasting my gas. Fucking $5.50 a gallon for me to go over and fucking drop that shit off. And I probably have to wait in some line too over there. You can come pick this shit up. Tell them it'll be on the porch. Okay, well, we'll figure out a way to get it back from you. I'll put it on your account. Well, yeah, you better not be charging me for that shit. So I've been watching the account, and they haven't. But, yeah, man. Yeah, it's bullshit. Router, which is dual core higher, and I would get packet loss. Well, again, it's again, you could have the greatest router and modem, Mark. Again, it's really the ISP, right? It's their bandwidth that they're allowing you to use at that point. And we already know they do it to a certain extent with like mobile phones, right? Right, after your little allotment, your phone like slows down, right? I mean, why would it be any different? And I really believe that's kind of like what Elon's trying to kind of cut out and just take the whole market. You know what I mean? But I mean, he just launched fucking 12. He launched another rocket the other night here, midnight on like Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. He launched another rocket. So, yeah, I mean, it's always like 12 satellites at a time. So at some point, he'll have so many of them up there. 200 satellites or something where his service should be really good, really fast, available everywhere. And then maybe make it a little more affordable, Fucking Elon. Can drop it off at any UPS store. But I mean, again, even that, Cloudy, I mean, that means I have to go and do something for them. I don't know. You have 67 down and 5 up. See, you just about, Mike, if you were streaming, have that problem. And that's just how it works, you know. Yeah. It is what it is. Starlink's $100 a month. Yeah, but then how much is the what do you call it? How much is the equipment, which I think is $600-700, which is a lot. Then again, you're relying on their equipment again, which I hate. Is there a rental fee for the equipment after I buy that? You know, or is it mashed into the 100 thanks to the gray screen right now? Questions. And then again, what's the speed they're giving me? What's the upload? Again, to me, the upload is everything. You know, when you're uploading things to the internet like I'm doing, streaming up to the internet, it's everything. The download means really nothing. You can have 100 and be good. Download. Fine. You know, the fact that I have 320, great, but it doesn't really do anything for me. Whoa, what's going on here? Follow her around. Follow her around. I mean, Nuclear, they're not going to ask anything. Then you sit online forever, and then you're talking to a ding-dong who sells fucking used routers all day. I mean, you know, come on, let's be honest. I don't have time to waste like that. A fucking hour of my time just to waste for that. In an hour, I could list 30 cards on eBay that'll produce probably at least at the bare minimum $30, maybe a couple hundred or 1,000 depending on what kind of cards, what level cards I'm putting up and what I'm putting the prices at. So I don't know, I look at things like that now. Like, you know, time is of the essence, and you know, we don't get back time, and for me to sit sit on the phone waiting forever with an ISP, it's just, you know, you might as well take a hammer to my head. Fuck that. It's your equipment, but you'll get it for $600. See, after that, you don't pay a rental fee. Okay, that's good. So do you know what the speed up and download is? Do you know? Wonder what that upload and download speed for Starlink is. With all the overtaxation, without any representation, I figured to myself, the least the government can do is have some sort of free government internet where it's equal. Everybody gets 300 down, 20 up, and that's that. Get a little boost. That ain't happening. The speed of Starlink is pretty good. Better than broadband. Typically experience between 25 and 220 megs. And speeds over 100. But what? Upload speeds are between 5 and 20. See, there you go. So let's be honest. It's never 20. They'll always tell you the top, and let's be honest. It's never 20. It's more going to be between 5 and 10. And again, at 7, I told you. At 7, you're at the precipice. You're at the cusp, okay, of being gray screen, if you fall below, or being just fine. So normally, like I told you, at night, if we want to do it tonight, I'll show you. We won't have any gray screen, I bet, tonight. Unless they're fucking with us. But I bet we won't. We didn't have any gray screen at any of the nights before. It's always the day shows, if you notice. You know, I'm telling you. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see, man. Starlink says he wishes he changed to Starlink years ago. Yeah, Jess. I mean, you know, I definitely get it for the people in the rural areas, you know, because it must be a bitch to, you know, they're not normal cable hookups and all that shit, so it's better that way. You know, and I'm assuming at some point he'll have, you know, like a cable TV type offering kind of thing, you know, so streaming service attachment, I would assume. You know, Elon, he don't stop there. I need fiber. Yeah, there's no fiber here in my neighborhood, man. Yeah, Osh, yeah, there's no sound on this thing. Just because a lot of the times when the bands are done, they're playing, copywritten music, and they'll get their account struck by YouTube because you can't play any copywritten music. When the band's taking a break, having a beer or something. And on top of that, because there's so many people talking and clinking glasses, and normally I'm telling you, this place is really packed. It's an appropriate name, Elbow Room Bar, because I'm telling you, at night there's only elbow room left. That's that packed. So you're not going to hear a lot. The mics are going to just pick up nastiness. If you notice, like when there's a concert, right, they'll do mics across everywhere. You know what I mean? So they can pick the show up in several places, but especially one in the sound pit, which is always dead ahead. It's where if you want the best sound, it's dead ahead, right? So, you got to think about it in those sound terms, and that way they can go back and edit out a little bit of the, the bullshit, but make it sound as best as possible. All right, though. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to do what I just said. I'm going to go and dump the internet and wait 10 minutes or so, maybe even 20. So that way we look good to go tonight. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the love, the likes, the donations, the camaraderie, the fun, the laughs. You guys were too much today in the chat room. So I want you guys to have a fantastic Friday. Remember, we will be live tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully you can join us. If you can't, I understand. That's totally okay too. But please have a good day or night, whatever you do, and be safe and come back to us another day. So hopefully you'll join us tonight. On behalf of old Shrimp Loaf Stink Bomb over there and myself, we're out of here until 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.